Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the worst run show on the internet, the worst run show that ever could exist, which is my show, Lawsplaining the Interwebs. Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm your host. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm going to do what I don't do, and I'm going to apologize to the mob in chat. Please accept my humblest apologies. I had to take care of a child emergency, like not like a real emergency, like, you know, just a thing where a kid had spilled a bunch of crap and had to be cleaned up before I could hop on the show. Thank you all for joining me. With me today is my special guest, Emosh. Hey, buddy.
What's up? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah,
pleasure.
Absolutely. I've wanted to have you back for a while. You know, we had talked like before KamehaCon and stuff, but we haven't really connected lately. And so I definitely wanted to talk to you. And what a fitting day to talk about this stuff, because of course we have a big announcement that KamehaConUK has been canceled officially. So I figured today was a good day to, it's like full circle, right?
Yeah.
That we could get on the stream. We could talk about that. We could talk about, I want to hear about KamehaCon from you, since you were actually there.
Okay.
And then I want to talk to you and the audience about SaiyaCon, which is another UK Dragon Ball convention in September, I believe, right?
The date slips my mind as of right now. Yeah, I believe it is September. I believe it's August, September. Yeah, it's September.
I think it's September 20th through the 22nd.
Yes.
So,
KamehaCon was earlier. KamehaCon was actually, I think, a month or two before that, and then it was SaiyaCon. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that stuff. And then after we get through that stuff, I'd like to talk to you about there's been some drama, some very heavy drama in the IStandWithVic stuff. And I think it's mostly that there's just like some lull periods between after we had the storm. My analogy for this is, have you had Legos as a kid?
Of course. Who hasn't? I feel sorry if you haven't, right?
Right, exactly.
I have some now.
Have you ever just taken a big box of Legos and sat down in a room and just like shuffled through them? It's the loudest clattering on earth.
Yeah.
Right. And then it stops and your brain wants noise, but it doesn't have it. So it's like this weird pause. I think that's really what's been going on. There's been a lull in the news. And so I'm trying to reach out to other people who've been covering this thing. I had Flash, Irohe, and Tug on Friday.
Yeah, I stopped by.
Yeah. And so I'm reaching out to everybody I can think of to kind of just get people on and talk to them. And so this is just a good, like, logical, what is it? Convergence of events, so to speak.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, let me do a couple of these early chats that we've got. Because I have some.
Yeah, chat was going crazy earlier.
I know. I'm gonna
capital Fs.
I'm sorry. I left Flash and Tug's stream with 7 minutes, and I ran upstairs and I threw on a shirt because I wasn't on camera on the other thing, and then I'm run back downstairs and I hear my house has a central vacuum in it.
Okay.
And so I hear the central vacuum going. I'm like, what are those little hellions doing? Right. And so I like
perfect timing too. Yeah.
Yeah. I run down to my kid's room. I'm like, what is going on? What are you guys doing? And then my wife is in there vacuuming up my daughter's bed because she had some kinetic sand. Actually, my other daughter had kinetic sand.
Yeah.
And the younger sister decided to just dump that on the bed. Like,
Daddy's about to stream soon.
Yeah.
Let's set the house on fire.
Yeah. So,
for sure.
So then I'm like running around wrangling kids, and it took just a couple minutes. So I apologize again.
Cool. Speaking of which, I mean, I won't be able to be on Facecam tonight. So if anybody who was kind of hoping for that. As weird as that sounds, my whole room is dark right now. I moved into a new apartment not too long ago, so I have a dog behind me. He's sleeping. I'm trying to keep him quiet. So his name is Broly, by the way. That's ironic.
Well done.
But yeah, but as soon as I turn on the light, he's gonna start whimpering. So trying to avoid that. But let's do it. Super chats.
Yeah. Okay, so these are from before the stream. Well, I'll do the 20 ones like I normally do. Okay, Siren Jag says your wizard rolls a 20 on the identity check. Identify check. The magic item in question is a deck of many pronouns. The cursed item forces everyone in the party to roll 1d20 and consult the included chart. The result is the third person possessive pronoun that party must use for the rest of the session or be permanently killed. His, her, their, its, near, viz, ear, ire, her, zer, zher, z, ease, het, hisser, thorns, heimers, s's, a's, liz, rbgs, shekli. That one.
God damn.
The one that the tentacle beast from Futurama used. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's your new DM rules for your next RPG session. So should be great. Lots of fun to do that. Red Philosophy says, I know I wasn't the only one and others might disagree with this, but I was one of the people who flagged Ren, and not because of Yellow Flash, because of the horrible claims she said. But hey, personally, I believe she deserves it in my opinion. You won't catch me disagreeing. I am against deplatforming, and that's why I'm for deplatforming Renfamous. Because she spends her entire day with the sole intent, the stated intent of gaslighting people into throwing them off of the platform. And for that, I don't care what happens to her. That's her choice. That's her choice. She makes many choices. Most of them involve sugary candy. That one involved her being a complete pile of garbage and silencing people every day. No, she can deal with that. I have no sympathy for them. Sakaki Onsai says, I see Emosh as being one of the first line people who primarily focused on Vic, DBZ, and getting him to cons. His trail is blazed for the larger weeb wars that are happening, and he has earned his rest. Salute to you, Captain.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And then Ben Shapiro. Oh, thanks, Ben. Nice to show up. Says, don't forget that if your sister was raped, a lawyer would defend the rapist and make sure he's back on the street ASAP. All for mammon. Nick might be cool, but lawyers are pretty scummy in general. All serious criminals should be killed immediately. So, well, there you go. I guess not all positive over here. But
constructive criticism.
Yeah, constructive criticism of if you are a criminal, you should be killed. Oh my gosh, what a disaster! What a disaster! No, now I've never personally had a case defending a rapist, but I would do it. That's part of the job. So
I guess since you're on that topic. Under what circumstance would you deem it okay to represent a potential rapist?
Any. Hold on one second. What are you doing in here? Oh.
I have a band-aid on my toe.
Yep.
Because,
Okay, good night.
Ian accidentally.
Hi, baby Rekieta.
All right, good night, lady. Love you. Close my door, please. Both of them. All right. So
shut the vault.
No, there's no. I mean, I'm a defense attorney, and I here's the thing: if someone's guilty, then we negotiate their plea agreement. That's how it works out, and I work to get the best deal for my client. Now, if they're not guilty because the facts don't hold them to be guilty, then you defend them under the facts that are given. And some people don't like this, but here's the reality. If you want cops to catch criminals and put them in bars, put them not in bars, that's where lawyers go. If you want them to put behind bars in the back, if you want cops to put them behind bars, you have to call out the cops when they do it wrong, when they don't have enough evidence, when they fabricate evidence, when they do something outside of the procedure, because that makes the system better. And that's the only way to do it. If you just let cops make stuff up, you'd get a lot of innocent people in jail. Trust me, you'd get a lot more innocent people in jail. And right. And things would not go well for you when you're accused of something. So
yeah, usually what they recommend is that you report it close to the time it took place. So that way, you know, you can recollect your thoughts. You remember everything that happened from point A to point Z. But when you wait, 10, 15 years, it just, well.
Yeah. Oh, in this stuff, of course, the whole like lunacy of going after someone over a dozen years later.
A friend.
Yeah. Well, with the best of friends, truly the best of friends.
Love it. That's why I'm glad we're not friends, you know.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. A decade from now, you'd be toast, buddy.
Toast, man. Toast.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. There are other lawyers. I mean, I am not one of the lawyers who will like try a bunch of weasel stuff to get people out. I don't like lie or unethically represent people or anything like that ever. And I tell people, you know, if they don't have a good case, I say, look, here's my recommendation. We start talking a plea agreement because the evidence against you is strong. It'll be very hard to counter unless we can provide some proof that this is wrong. Then, you know, we got to talk about pleading guilty. And if you don't like that, I understand. Please go talk to a different attorney. Won't offend me. It
might be a good video topic for you to cover. I mean, especially with the whole Vic stuff going on. Like, if you look at it this way, I mean, it's not really an argument that people try to, you know, put forward. But what they say is that, well, you know, Nick's a lawyer, Ty Beard's a lawyer, Beard Harris people can use their lawyers. It doesn't matter what side they're representing. The main point is that they're trying to get a deal. And then when you think about the idea, when you look at it in the context of making a deal or striking a deal for a rapist, it's like, well, morally, it's like, oh my God, this is why Vic going to court and suing these people for defamation doesn't really dismiss the fact that he actually did do these things. So that might be a good topic to cover for you on your channel, if anything. So that way you can just dismiss those like stupid arguments, but I think it would be a good topic.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. And what I'd really like to do for that topic, and I have some ideas on who, but get someone on who's done some much harder criminal defenses. I mean, like I said, I live in a small town. Most of my criminal defense involves traffic, drugs, domestic assault, or petty theft type stuff. Or I mean, some like felony level theft as well. But we're not talking about people being murdered left and right. We're not talking about huge rape crimes and stuff like that. They happen around here, but they tend to go to other people, which is fine by me. It's not like, definitely. You know, I'm not the guy who's out there like, hey, rapists over here, right here. Come on. It's not my,
I'll get you a good deal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not my goal, but you know, usually people who are coming to me are coming on a personal recommendation from someone that they know. And yes, I've done many, you know, people may not like this, but I've done many domestic violence cases. I've represented about the same amount of men and as women, as domestic violence defenses. So it's just how it goes. It's the reality of law. But that's that. Okay, we've got Nick's Hex says, I've heard orange juice is a better substitute for a Band-Aid. Yeah, well, no orange drink for her tonight. Blaine20 says, Despair Dragon has declared war on me for collecting his faulty exegesis of Twitter's terms of service rule regarding secondary accounts while suspended. I told him I'd put him on blast for being such a dweeb. Okay. Here's what I understand about Twitter's terms of service in regards to banned accounts. Now, a suspension is a permanent suspension. Being locked out of Twitter for a 12-hour temporary thing, that's not a suspension. When someone is locked out temporarily for like 12 hours or 24 hours or whatever it may be, their account still is there, and you can even like and interact with the posts. When someone is suspended, and this is the prelude to a permanent suspension, or it's not a prelude to it, it's part of a permanent suspension. You go to their account on Twitter and it says this account has been suspended. That means that's not temporary. I'll tell you, because mine wasn't temporary. It was appealed and overturned. And so my understanding is if someone is evading a permanent ban, which is the suspension, if they're evading a permanent ban, that's against Twitter's terms of service. And if they find that out, they may remove you. So there you go. Now, you can certainly debate the validity of an adhesion contract on a tech site like Twitter, but that's the rules. That's the rules as far as I understand them. But ultimately, terms of service works like this. Twitter's going to ban whoever they want to ban, and the terms of service is an ad on who they might ban. So, I don't know. Luckily, I was just caught up as an unfortunate purge of spam accounts by accident. I don't know.
Well, it's good to have you back anyway. So
yeah, well, it's nice to be back. It is really frustrating. It is really frustrating. Baron von Stargart says, I can't. Oh wait, no. Well, I'll read it. I can't decide which would be funnier, for Soye to cuck under pressure and spill his guts against Monica, or to white knight his way into contempt of court. The second one. The second one would be much funnier. Crack the cuck or rebrand him as the hero of Stand With Vic. Delicious irony either way. I'm going with the second one. Austin Heartless says, I'm considering supporting you on Patreon for access to that sweet, sweet Discord. I would have to make a Patreon account to do that, though. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can go to New Project 2, which is Dick Masterson's Patreon alternative. You can pledge there. We're working on a Discord bot for it, but in the meanwhile, you can send me an email. You can send me an email and let me know how you pledged on New Project 2. Reward tiers are exactly the same over there, and it's in the description, so you can do that. And also, Emosh's channel is in the description. If you like Emosh, you should go subscribe to Emosh by clicking on that link that's in the description. So definitely do that. All right, man. Well, let's talk about this. Should we open up and talk about KamehaCon, the US one that happened?
Sure.
Since you were there, you got to meet Vic. Why don't you just kind of, I don't know, give us a primer on that. Tell us what happened.
All right, so I was voluntary staff over there. One of the owners asked for me to just basically be a part of his crew. Me and a couple of friends of mine, me, Unreal Gaming, some of you guys might know him, a few others as well. Amazing. Couldn't have asked for anything more. Would love to do it again. Would do it as many times as they asked me. The con itself was, for anybody who wants to know, because I had posted up a tweet for people. It was a Q&A tweet. Quite a few people asked me questions. So a lot of people were talking about the safety issues, for example. Safe as can be. What I was told was that about $24,000 plus was invested into security, both police and private security. I've met them. These dudes look like, I swear, like Vikings, dude. There was no joke. Like, no, they were always on the floor. They were on the showroom floor, mainly where all the voice actors were seated for their meet and greets and their signings and stuff like that. So the safety issues, no concerns whatsoever. The fans themselves, amazing. No issues with people protesting or anything like that, even though there is an actual designated protesting area by the convention center, to my knowledge. Nobody participated in that. You had some people, saying a couple of things on Twitter, but that's pretty relevant to what was actually happening and taking place. The response for Vic was amazing. Lines all day. The dude maybe showed up to his line, to his booth around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, roughly on average, stayed there well past closing, well past the ending of the actual KamehaCon convention itself. Like 7, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. in some cases. He stood there, no breaks, arguably just to use the bathroom, since the bathroom was on the same floor that he was designated to. He had a whole section to himself, basically the fourth floor, the top floor, which was next to the grand ballroom. So It's a high traffic area. The turnout was amazing. People were happy to see him. Lines all day, every day, and he was happy. I mean, I got to sit behind him for a while. I was basically, I don't want to say in charge, but I pretty much took it upon myself to come back and report you guys onto Twitter, to people who were asking me on Discord and DM stuff like that, showing some videos and things like that. Vic's interactions with the fans, I don't think he even knew that I was there, because this is prior to me actually meeting him. Right. So just watching him and just recording him and just listening to the conversations that he was having with fans, signing off. And he was, I mean, the guy really takes his time to have an actual personal conversation with everybody that he meets. And that's something that, and I know a lot of people on the opposite side, on the opposing side, may not agree with it. They might not like it. They might just try to say this to justify, as this is one of the many reasons as to what makes him creepy. You can you can really tell. I'm not the only one to say this. Vic interacting with his fans, big difference when you compare it to like anybody else who's on the bottom floor. And by that, I mean like legitimately every single other voice actor on the showroom floor that was available for a meet and greet. A substantial difference. Vic was extremely personal in the sense where obviously he was, you know, respectable. He was respectable, but personal in the sense where he would actually talk to them about their kids, talk to them about where they got this figure that they want them to sign, taking pictures and everything in between. The guy signed a kid's wheelchair. You know, there's like a handicap kid that came in to his line, and you know he wanted an autograph, whatever. And it was proposed that he signed the wheelchair. The Vic didn't do it. You know, he was asked to sign the wheelchair, and he did it. Got up off his thing, signed the wheelchair. Another fan that came and gave him like a whole like bag of candy and all this other stuff. Vic took the candy, distributed it to everybody who was waiting online. The guy would actually leave his booth to go address the people in the back of the line to just ask them how they're doing, thank them for waiting there. So like for those of you guys who want to know how Vic did at the convention itself, I will tell you this. I had the pleasure of having dinner with him twice. It wasn't like a one-on-one dinner, but me and a few other people, we had the pleasure of doing that. And one of the first things that he would ask is that, was the owner satisfied with me? And not just the pay, like the turnout. I'm saying, was he happy? Did I do okay? Was there anything that he saw or was aware of that he didn't like? You know, and that says a lot because we already knew going into this that Vic was going to sell, that Vic was a marketable figure. We knew that. He could have walked into the building thinking that too. So the idea that he was concerned with not only the fans' outlook of him, but the actual owner themselves and staff themselves is a really major thing. And I think overall, the actual panels themselves, I didn't have the chance to attend all the panels mainly because I was working. I was just on the bottom floor and the top floor mainly, just, you know, interacting with people. I met a few fans here and there, but I also got to basically observe how everybody was interacting with their fans to see who was the busiest, who wasn't the busiest, things like that. But obviously, any chance I got, I went upstairs to see how Vic was doing. I got to meet Ty as well. That was also pretty good. I had a pretty good conversation with him for a bit. But overall, the experience, the KamehaCon actually affiliated themselves with Bar Louie. I think there was like a sushi place. There was like Bar Louie and all this other stuff. And they had that whole strip accessible to them for an after party. They actually had another after party on the premises as well, like at the actual hotel, the Westin Hotel, which is like literally steps from the Irving Convention Center, which is pretty cool. The panel themselves, the atmosphere, everybody. Despite all the stuff coming in and going on within the fandom, everybody who came to KamehaCon, not just for Vic, right? But it was just to come to be a fan and to enjoy and celebrate the Dragon Ball franchise. And overall, I cannot stress enough how much of a good time I personally had. I hope everybody else had a good time as well. Merchandise was amazing. The turnout was amazing. Better than they did last year for sure. Better than they did last year for sure. Vic absolutely killed it. More than willing to talk about that as well in terms of his payout or based on what I know, what I've been told. And it was just an amazing atmosphere. No negativity whatsoever other than the Dominic Sky situation. But that was it. Other than Dominic Sky, the weekend was perfect. And to my knowledge, staff, owners and stuff like that have said that they probably couldn't have asked for anything better. And their condolences out to you guys for showing them all the support that you guys have given them to bring Big Vac, because it wasn't an easy decision to make. And obviously you, Nick, and everybody else who's been covering the stuff going on and basically imploring that they listen to the fans. That's not for you, it's for the fans. And I think by now that they agree with that. I think it's easy to tell. It's easy to see that they definitely put the fans first. And at the same time, they made a killing for it. So I'm looking forward to their next project.
Yeah, me too. Hashtag me too. No, just kidding. No, I heard that the convention went very well for Vic. Actually, I mean, that's been the crazy thing, is that I've heard that every convention Vic has gone to has been phenomenal. Great turnout, great interactions, no negativity. The only negative thing in any of the conventions, and this includes Vic has been at TupeloCon, Tupelo, Missouri. What's MS? I think it's Missouri. No, that's MO, Mississippi. Tupelo, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. He's at TupeloCon this weekend. Heard it went just absolutely great. Same story as KamehaCon. Lines that are to the point where they have to like put pauses on them because there's too many people lined up and they need to like slow the tide for a little bit for the entire time, the entire convention. No negativity, only positive interactions with fans and with con staff and stuff like that. So you know, we're noticing a pattern here that conventions that are supporting Vic and standing with him are having excellent turnouts. They're having excellent results. They're not having the drama and security issues that they were concerned that some conventions had expressed concern about, whether they were using that as cover or if they're sincerely concerned. And I can certainly see both of those instances depending on the con. But people don't go to these conventions. First of all, these conventions are happening in the real world, not on Twitter. And that's something hard for companies to differentiate, I think, a lot of times. Right. But the people going to the conventions, they don't want to get thrown out. They don't want to, you know, you've spent a $75 ticket or whatever for a couple-day pass. You've booked a hotel. You got an Uber to go there. You're planning on getting blitzed at an after party. Whatever you're going to do, people don't want to be sent home. Because they wanted to start drama. The only person who's done that is a failure of a cosplayer who feels like she had some sort of personal investment in doing this drama. The average fans, even the ones who are vocal on Twitter, just want to go and see Vic, or they just want to go and not see Vic. That's it. That's how normal people operate.
On that point though, right? So it's like I said before, all the VAs, they were downstairs on the first floor, right? In Hall A, I believe. Hall A is like, it's like a big area where all the merchandise and stuff was, right? And they had all their booths and everything seated there. Vic was all the way on the 4th floor.
Right.
So it's like, technically, you'd be exposed to a multitude of high traffic of people going into Hall A, where all the other voice actors are, where all the money making is happening, all the merchandise is being sold, because one, it draws your eye. It's not like, to my knowledge, it's not like there were any signs saying, "Hey guys, Vic is upstairs." You know, it's like, you know, they did a good job at like making sure that people knew where he was and stuff like that. But generally speaking, just the sheer thought of people making their way upstairs to the 4th floor, right, and going to see him specifically and staying there all day, and I think that's what makes his interaction with people as beautiful as it was, mainly because, you know, he understands that people were waiting there for 2, 3, 4 hours when they could have just been spending their money elsewhere. Right. You know, and this idea that he just gets off his booth, no breaks, right? Ask people, "Hey, thanks for waiting," you know, interacting with people who are waiting online. Like I said, signing a kid's wheelchair, like everything in between. That was really good. It was a good turnout for him specifically. So I know a lot of you guys want to know mainly how Vic was, and if Vic really helped the con, and of course he did. Of course he did. But overall, for the overall experience, yeah, there were some bumps here and there. Some people ended up not showing up, and that's unfortunate. But it was really at that point out of the con's hands. At that point, it was just about, let's get through this weekend. Let's give the fans everything we possibly can. And I think we did that. So it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. I'm definitely looking forward to that, to doing that again and meeting Vic again, especially. He's a great guy. Yeah,
and I heard, I don't know if you can confirm or deny this, but I actually heard that one of the days he was there for like 9 straight hours, maybe 9.5. I think this was Saturday, and he didn't even go to the bathroom. Like he just sat there and signed for 9.5 hours without even having to pee, or maybe his pants were soaked. I don't know.
I mean, that's what he did all weekend, honestly. But if the whole bathroom feat in and of itself is a feat for you, then sure. I mean, it's not as if like he did enough just by simply not taking a break whatsoever. You know, most of the VAs downstairs, they all took breaks. They were gone for like hour and a half. And it's not to slight them by any stretch of the imagination, right? Obviously, they're entitled to that. They deserve it. You know, they had actual panels to attend. I mean, they're used to it, fine, by all means. But Vic, I think, really set a precedence when he said, "I'm going to sit in this chair until every single fan has my autograph. Everybody on that line is getting my autograph." Yeah. It actually got to the point where they had to cap the line. They actually had to cap the line because of how many people were waiting because of the population upstairs. So they had to like tell some people to come back like within a half hour roughly. It was pretty crazy, man. The turnout was great. The turnout was great for sure.
Yep. That's everything that I heard, is that turnout's been great. And I heard the same thing about is it Topelo? I don't know how to pronounce this.
I think it's KamehaCon.
I'm calling it TaPelicon.
Yeah.
I've heard the same sort of thing. I don't think it's as big of a convention as KamehaCon, but I've heard that it was nonstop, that he did extremely well, met tons of fans. Same thing, nonstop lines, and people just there, and most importantly, no negativity.
And check this out. Literally right after that, right after signing for 9-10 hours straight, came and had dinner with us.
Yeah.
Instead of going back to his hotel, drinking, doing whatever, minding his own business, came and had dinner with us. Twice. Saturday and Sunday, to my knowledge, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, or Friday and Sunday, I forget, but you get the point, right? This guy we had dinner the first time. Then the second time he was like, I want to have dinner with you guys again. And it's obvious to tell why, but that was a pretty big gesture in my opinion. Because it's not like we're anybody relevant. Obviously, one of the owners was there, people that he's familiar with, people that were helping him. I believe it was Saturday because Ty was there Saturday. So Ty was present, and then we had dinner with him again on Sunday. And taking the time to just do that up until like another 2 hours roughly.
Yeah.
And then going back to his hotel. He didn't have to do all that, So it's almost as if he was with fans literally all day.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. And for some people that's tough. And that's not, again, like you said, that's not a slight. It's personality type sometimes makes it hard for people to be in crowds like that. But no, Vic seems to work really hard at being involved and engaged with fans, and it's great to see. Well, thanks for that update. I've been wanting to have you come talk about it since you were there. How is Ty for you, meeting Ty?
So a lot of people were like, "Oh, there's this presence about him, like he has this aura." Right?
Sure.
I didn't get that.
No, I don't either.
You know what? But yeah, maybe because maybe at the time I was covering the stuff, so I felt a little more comfortable talking, about things with him. But one of the owners actually he called me upstairs. He said, "Emosh, come upstairs." I said, "Okay." So I didn't ask why. I just knew. Okay, come to the 4th floor. I knew if that's Vic's panel, that's Vic's area. He had the whole floor to himself. And I get up there. He brings me over. He says, Mr. Ty, this guy, one of the guys I want you to meet, his name is Emosh. So he turns around, "Hey, Emosh, how you doing?" And he's very easy to talk to. Pulled me to the side. We had a really cool conversation. And he asked me a few questions. I obliged them. I answered them and stuff like that. And really easy to talk to. I didn't get any intimidation factor. I know when people look at him the first time, because he was like all black, he looked like, he was going to ask you for a favor, have you kissed the ring, something like that. But, but no, he's really well-spoken. Even at dinner, it's like his personality, what you see on your streams is what you get.
Yeah.
So outside of the whole, legal talk, but that's what you get essentially. I think his daughter, he was with his daughter as well.
Yeah.
Pleasure meeting her, and would love to have another conversation with him. And it was great. It was great.
Yeah. He's fantastic. I've known Ty for years, and just, that presence or whatever. I guess if you know who he is, but just talking about him, you get to dispel whatever that presence is within a few minutes, because he's just a very normal guy who's good at conversation, has a lot to say, and doesn't really, he's unapologetic about his speech, his positions, and his who he is. So, but he's great. He's great. If any of you get a chance, if you're ever at something, I think he might come to Matsuri. If you ever get a chance to see him and say hi, definitely do so. Don't be intimidated by.
Yeah, if you spot him, stop him. Trust me. Like a wild Ty has appeared. Like, get it. Stop him right there. Throw that Pokeball. Do whatever it is you got to do. Catch him.
If you throw a ball at him, blame me for it.
There you go. There you go. No lawsuits.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure to meet him for sure. I think it's like when you go to the barbershop, and even if you don't know anybody that's there, you just walk in and it's like automatic. The atmosphere, it feels like everybody. You could just talk shit and say whatever to him. That's exactly how it is. That's the best way I can describe it, in my opinion.
Only if you've got a good barbershop. You can't do that at a Great Clips.
Well, I have a beard, so it's like when I walk in, it's the statement is made. It's
right.
The statements are made when you walk into a barbershop with a beard. You gotta sit in the best chair for sure.
Exactly. Blaine 20 says, my hero convention in Fort Walton Beach, Florida on August 2 to 4. Mike could use a Vic If any of our Get Vic invited warriors would like to help, I hope he has room on his schedule. Well, maybe we'd have to, I don't know if he's available that day. I don't know. I could ask him and see, but I don't know who to talk to. They'd probably want to talk to his booking agent. I'm just a guy. Travis the Bard says, sorry, I was going to play World of Warships while listening, but it seems I can't play and watch you guys without YouTube crapping out. Well, sorry about that, buddy. Infanity says, one of the vendors at KamehaCon had his truck with all his merch burned down after the event. He has a GoFundMe to try and salvage his business. Would you mind if I post the link? Don't want to without permission. Oh, post the link, man. Post the link and make sure you send tag me on Twitter or something so we can signal boost that guy's thing. That's awful. Aztec01 says, my super cherry chat. Oh, thank you. Thanks for being a voice for freedom of speech. This is for you and my newly announced grandchild to be, number 13. Love your work. Whoa, congrats. Congrats. And there's something I have to do. Blaine20 says, Tupelo is a dogwood tree from which one of the best and healthiest honeys is made. So, okay. Thanks, buddy. I do have to say, today is the birthday of Lady Rackets' grandmother, who passed away a couple years back. And so blessings to you, Bev. Great lady.
Pour some tea for her. I will pour some tea. Yeah.
I'll take a little swig of this Talisker here.
I have Earl Grey. I'm good.
Yeah. And also, Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
I thought about buying a big bottle of tequila, but then it was Sunday and I didn't have time to do it. So we're stuck with whiskey. I missed it. Next year I'll drink tequila.
I've been made aware of some Revenge of the Fifth, or of this. It's I guess a reference to the Sith. So that's also something I've been shown today. I'm not sure if any of you guys know what it is, but it's new to me. Just figured I'd talk about it. Whatever.
I think we need to shame Disney for trying to take Mexico's holiday. Very rude of Disney for doing that.
How dare they? How dare they? And Vic tweeted it too. My goodness.
Okay, the Texan 83. I think this one's for you. Says, don't forget to ask him, which I'm guessing is Emosh, when the wedding is and where he and Dragon Bay Z are registered for gifts.
Oh, that's dirty. Shout out to Dragon Bay. Shout out to Dragon Bay. No, she's been helping me with getting Vic to cons and stuff like that too. So she's been helping out a lot. So great girl for sure.
Very fantastic. Dragon Bay, thank you for all your work on that. That's awesome. With that, I would like to propose something. Well, one of the reasons that what prompted me to ask you to come on the show tonight is KamehaConUK has announced they're not doing it. They're not doing the UK KamehaCon. They had disinvited Vic on February 1st, which I think is the same time that the KamehaCon US
We're on the same time. Yes.
Yeah, and it's the same. Is it the same guys who do it?
Yes. Same owners, yes.
Okay. So same guys, but they had now I don't know where I heard this specifically, what particular source, but I had heard that they were I had heard a while back that they probably weren't going to do KamehaCon in the UK this year. And I've had several people DM me and ask about having people talking to them about getting Vic back invited and stuff. And my response is always, I'm not sure that they're actually doing it, but now it's official. They've officially announced that they're not doing the event today.
Right. So if you want to elaborate a little bit
please do, because you had an interesting tweet, because some people were out there, like on Pretty Ugly Little Liars, and probably some people on Twitter were suggesting that it was because of the pressure from Vic's fans and the severe intimidation of Ty Beard on the owners of KamehaCon, that they were worried that Ty Beard and Vic fans were going to attack KamehaCon into inviting Vic back to the UK, which is, of course, a misunderstanding entirely of what happened in the US KamehaCon as well. But can you elaborate? Because you said it wasn't about Vic.
It wasn't. Right. Yeah. So I think people reading KamehaCons, and like I said, I haven't had contact with KamehaCon owners since KamehaCon itself. But I'm just putting two and two together based on what I know and based on, I guess, my ability to perceive and analyze things. So the way I took the tweet was that it's the current status of the fandom, the current status of the community. I mean, if you think back to what KamehaCon US, when Vic was originally denounced from the actual convention for whatever reason, and then you think back to the fact that he was actually brought back and they put out a statement saying that this is for the fans, it's built on the community, it's built on the celebration of Dragon Ball. Vic had a great turnout, made X amount of dollars. I'm pretty much aware as to how many made. I don't want to disclose that for obvious reasons, whatever.
Right.
And the turnout was great. I mean, the owners were happy. Everybody was happy. This idea for the whole UK thing, one, I believe at the time, Sonny Strait was the only one announced as an actual voice acting guest. So when you consider that, I think the difference between the US and the UK events was that for the US, contracts and certain things were signed and done. It was a done deal. For the UK, I do not think that during the time where they were scheduling for the US, I don't think that they also dished out contracts for the UK, only because even back then they might not have been sure. It was the first time they were planning to go international. This is KamehaCon's second year. So it was still in the talks as to whether or not, to see the status of the KamehaCon UK, the status of KamehaCon US, to compare the two, I guess, the fan bases, and to see how many people would go to KamehaCon US and how many people would still be willing to come to KamehaCon UK. So it's their first time going international, to my knowledge. So with that in mind, you'd also have to consider the fact that contracts may not have been signed yet anyway. So there's nothing to uphold, really, right? And I say that only because that's speculation, only because Sonny Strait was the only one announced. Unless the contracts for the US convention were also simultaneously mentioned in the UK convention, which I doubt. I don't have that kind of information, so I'm just speculating, but it's common sense to my knowledge. So with that, you look at the actual tweet and they say, well, I don't think they would deter from the original statements that they made over the course of a month to congratulate the fandom, to say thank you to the fandom. So I think with the current state of Vic, filing lawsuits, so on and so forth, going forward with the stuff that you've covered, obviously, in regards to Monica Rial, in regards to Ron Toy and all this other stuff, doing things to actually hurt KamehaCon US, you can only imagine that going forward to KamehaCon UK, which leads me to believe that contracts may not have been signed going forward. Why would they want to comply with potentially coming to KamehaCon UK if bad blood potentially was created in the eyes of, let's just label them Kick Vic for convenience, right?
Right.
So why would they agree to flying out to KamehaCon UK, despite the fact that they turned down thousands of dollars in the US, despite the fact that flights are paid for, hotels, everything were covered? You put two and two together, you can pretty much assess that, yeah, after the US, it was a pretty much done deal that putting UK on the back burner or going international, let's just put that on the back burner, regroup, and do something better for hopefully next year for a KamehaCon 3, if there is one. So as far as the UK's status, it's not directly involved with Vic per se. It's just considering all the events that took place, despite how much positive feedback KamehaCon got in the US. That doesn't mean going forward that they can get people to agree to come to the UK event and that things would also go smoothly, considering the events that took place. For example, Ryu Horikawa, he was not present because of, X amount of reasons. The Vic stuff, obviously, Monica had her own signing on Saturday. Other voice actors pulled out despite them being replaced. So when you really look at everything, you start to say, you know what? Yeah, it's to assume that they're canceling KamehaCon UK because of Vic when Vic did great for the US. It's just silly. And I understand if people want to assume that that's why, despite what their statement says, but that's not initially what they're saying. Sonny Strait was the only one announced. You can tell that because nobody else was announced, even before Vic was denounced anyway. When Vic was denounced originally, they never came back. They never followed through with any more voice acting shout-outs or announcements for the UK convention. That in and of itself tells you that things were already probably going a little rough in terms of maybe potentially sales. Maybe there wasn't enough marketing. Maybe the UK event was way too close to the US event, in addition to the fact that you had SaiyaCon around the corner.
Right.
So, there's a lot of variables in play, but to assume that it's only because of Vic is just silly.
Yeah, and how do I say this? What was I going to say? Oh man, my brain.
If you're referring to the tweet I put out, it was about SaiyaCon. So that's a convention.
Yeah, I want to talk about that in a minute. Okay. But there was something in there with the oh yes. It would be silly to suggest that they're going to cancel a convention based on someone who, once they announced him, their sales went up.
Right? A lot, by the way.
Yeah, their sales. I I can't express enough. When Vic was announced for KamehaCon, KamehaCon sold tickets more than they were selling tickets before. Now, that's good. That's where the con's money comes from a lot of times, is the ticket sales. You know, the whatchamacallit, the voice actors are taking home what they're getting paid for autographs. That's their money. The con really isn't getting anything from that. The con is getting the people there to sell tickets. And so they got ticket sales. They were able to open up those offline sales. I don't know how, or the online attendance. I don't know how well those did, but I hope they did well. I know several people who bought them and stuff like that. So, you know, they did better after announcing Vic. They also were able to announce something like 8 other voice actors to come in and really make KamehaCon a good show, a better show than it was already going to be. Unfortunately, the Ryo Horikawa thing was a big blow, but that seems to be out of the power of anyone, and it's unclear as to if that was Vic related or if that was something else.
I can confirm it wasn't about Vic. It was something entirely out of their hands. It's more so of like a more powerful force, just making things complicated, and then from then going forward, it was just Rio himself just wasn't able to make it. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully we do see him there next time.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just, again, I'm just reiterating that it's silly to suggest that they got a bunch of money and they got a bunch of attendance and they got a bunch of good, positive publicity and feedback. And they're like, you know what? We don't want to risk that again for the UK. It'd be really unfortunate if we got money, publicity, and attendance for our show as a result of bringing Vic back and keeping the show going. So basically reinforcing your point is if you put 2 and 2 together, it really looks like this is 4, not 3.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, so your next tweet, though, you mentioned something, and I want to talk to the audience about this because I have a proposal. But you mentioned SaiyaCon, so can you talk a little bit about SaiyaCon?
So SaiyaCon is basically it's marketed as a convention that is built by the fans, for the fans primarily, and for content creators, obviously. It's nothing fancy schmancy. It's something that's being done by one man and a group of other people, all of which I'm familiar with, other content creators as well. Not going to disclose their names now, only because I haven't talked to them about SaiyaCon specifically. I know I was offered to go. I am looking forward to going. I cannot say that I'm going indefinitely, but SaiyaCon is basically the Dragon Ball convention, and what that's for, it's basically they have a handful of voice actors coming, obviously, because that's how you're going to get people into the building. It's how you're going to get people to purchase tickets and things like that. They have some musical shows by some very prominent people, 94 Stones, Halusa Twin, shouts to them. I believe the people for the Bruce Falconer score will be there as well, SSJ. And they basically wrote all the the music, the tracks for the English dub of Dragon Ball Z. So for example, the Super Saiyan 3 theme, all that good stuff that you guys remember,
sure.
Gohan transforming and stuff like that, all that good stuff that you guys remember. They're going to be there. They were at KamehaCon 1 minus 94 Stones, but they had a really good concert. It was fire. Shame we couldn't get them here for this year, but and it's basically from the ground up convention, kind of like how KamehaCon was, except with a smaller backing. So it's something that's literally just built from one guy and a group of people, all, like I said, whom I'm familiar with, and they're just trying to make something out of nothing, really. And I think they are worthy of our support. If you are a fan of not just Vic, if you like the Broly character, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Super fan, if you want to support conventions as a whole, if there's a message that you want to get out there to help conventions feel a little more comfortable and feel more like they belong in this space, then I think they're worthy of our support for sure. So
yeah,
lay the groundwork out for your proposal.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to support them. And I'm going to do a thing I've done a couple times where I'm going to compose a tweet on the stream to support SaiyaCon. Do they have a Twitter?
Yes, at SaiyaConUK.
Oh, sweet. Let me find it here while I talk about this.
I did DM the owner just to let him know that we would be covering it, and to basically that we would be pushing the con itself. So that's that. Hopefully he's on UK time, so it's obviously different from here.
Right.
But hopefully he sees it. I will let him know that we covered it on stream. I will link him to this stream. And like I said, I'm pretty sure Nick is going to encourage you guys to just show them nothing but positive support, despite what decision is made. They're very small, not small in the sense where they lack quality, but they don't really have, they have a lot and a little to work with, so they're building this up off of nothing. And I think that in and of itself speaks volumes. So any support is appreciated for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to ask people to send evil messages. No.
Yeah, right. Because that's what's implied.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna post a positive tweet supporting SaiyaCon, and I am going to respectfully ask people if they want to go ahead and like the tweet or whatever, and show some support to them. And I'm also going to ask them very politely and respectfully to see if they would consider having Vic there. Now, I've heard a couple things about this. You've laid out that they're a pretty small convention, and I know that one thing I want the chat to be very clear on here, and anyone who's listening to this and hearing this, is that I don't know if they have the resources to bring Vic out. I don't know if they have that, because they've got a pretty good roster of people already. Isn't Chuck Huber is going?
Yes. Chuck is going. Yes.
Yeah. And
yes.
It's not the biggest convention, like you said, but it is a convention in the UK. It is a Dragon Ball convention. Vic is the voice of Broly. I think it would do great things for Vic, for the convention, and for the fans over in the UK if Vic were able to go to this thing. So I'm going to politely ask them to consider, opening a table up for Vic to show up at the convention. If you guys feel so inclined, I'll let you know when I've tweeted it out in just a minute here. But I think that would be great.
I agree.
If we could get in there, because I know I've had several people message me from the UK, and I'm just, this is just Twitter numbers. And one thing I've learned about these conventions is that just like in real life, what happens on Twitter is a small percentage of the fandom. It really is a small percentage of the fandom. So when I went to Community, many of the people there had no idea any of this was going on at all.
Yes. Same for KamehaCon, actually.
Yeah, same for KamehaCon. That people are just happy they're going just because of Vic's there. The majority of people aren't really going because they're supporting Vic through the drama. Many people aren't aware of it. But I've gotten so many messages from the UK asking about getting Vic to KamehaCon UK that it tells me there's a bunch of fans over in the former tyrants land that that want to see him. And this is an opportunity, I think, that would be great for the convention, and great for Vic, and great for people who want that opportunity. So I'm gonna post this. I don't know. Can you fill some dead air for a second while I type it up?
Yeah, sure. I would say that I think it's a great idea, especially coming off of KamehaCon. I will say the owner / founder and one of the people who are organizing this event was at KamehaCon. It's a friend of mine. So, that's, and obviously he's learned a lot from KamehaCon in and of itself. And I would argue that in hopes that there's no potential, I'll just say it, pressure, in the sense where we get what happened to KamehaCon happen to SaiyaCon, that would be extremely unfortunate. I think SaiyaCon has a substantially smaller backing than KamehaCon. And it's not to slight them, and it's not to degrade them or deter people from thinking otherwise. It's just, the main idea here is that, it's for the fans, it's run by fans, it's run by people who are a part of the fandoms, just like you guys, people who are sitting in the chat. The concentrated portion of the community that Nick was just talking about in reference to what happens on Twitter is a small percentage of the fandom or people in real life. And that's exactly what we're getting here. So obviously, social media points and things like that, it matters. And obviously, I would assume that just simply because Nick is tweeting at them, they're obviously going to get some kind of deterrence because of it. But that's not to say that obviously the intent is to do something well for the con itself, despite what people think, despite what people say. It's more so not only to get Vic there, but it's also to give a good signal boost to SaiyaCon as a brand and as a potential future brand especially for the UK. So if you guys live in the UK, consider following through with Nick's tweet. So hopefully that was enough.
It's close. I'm almost done. It's just these stupid whatchamacallit, character limits. Limits. I'm almost done.
Yeah. Okay. So jelly beans.
Yeah, don't eat them. Don't eat them.
I have some Texas fries over here, and
okay. Here, I've got good. Here. You can proofread it for. Well, not proofread it. Proof listen it. I'm saying, hey, SaiyaCon. Thank you for being a fan-created convention and supporting Dragon Ball fandom. I'm sending out positivity for what you're doing. In the wake of KamehaCon UK being canceled, I'd like to respectfully ask that you consider bringing Vic Mignogna to the show. Maybe I should say inviting. Inviting. Vic Mignogna. Inviting Vic Mignogna to the show. And that I have 7 characters left, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Put an emoji, like a smiley face or...
No way, then they'll think I'm mad like Ron Toye.
So put a sad face.
Yeah. Okay,
or a teacup. Put a teacup.
I just tweeted that out. Again, please, if you do want to like or retweet that and show them support, please, nothing but support. You know, they are a convention. They are small, but my understanding is that they're not hostile to Vic or anything like that. And so let's, and of course, if there's even a shred of possibility that Vic might be able to attend it, they're going to get a little bit of flack, but I would just hope that we would drown them out with support like we did with KamehaCon. And I think you can probably confirm this. Part of the reason KamehaCon was willing to bring Vic back ultimately was the positive support that they got from Vic fans. Is that right?
It's what they've said. It's what I've been told. It's what I've seen. I think the writing's on the wall. After KamehaCon in and of itself, people were talking about it. During the event, people were talking about it. And look, it's gone in history. It's gone in history as something that was a very positive experience. I've yet to see people say anything negative in regards to bringing Vic back on board. But what I'm told is that for small conventions primarily, that he does, like, if the expenses were an issue, potentially, I don't know what his value is. I don't know how much he charges to appear, but I am being told that he discounts. He does discount his fee for small conventions. So that's also something considering if that were to be an issue. Once again, it's a small con, but I say small in the sense where they're small with a big idea. They're fans just like you. They know what fans want. And I think for the UK really needs something Dragon Ball focused. If SaiyaCon is willing to take the torch in place of KamehaCon for this year, please consider supporting them and showing them your support and letting them know that obviously whatever decision they make is up to them. It's totally understandable, but just to consider it and just to see them, hopefully they respond, and hopefully they respond and say, hey, we've heard you. We'll think about it and we'll see what happens, but we'll take it from there. I mean, there's too many variables in play, but hopefully, we can do for them what we did for KamehaCon. And they're going to need extra support, guys. This is not KamehaCon. KamehaCon had 1 year under its belt already prior to the Vic stuff happening. So this is SaiyaCon's first year. I'm sure, they're basically, it's a nerve-wracking experience, but hopefully if we can support them, I think we can give them some comfort to help alleviate this idea that they should be worried for the fandom that they're trying to build this convention for. So that's enough of that.
Yeah. Well, and I think the reality is, if they were able to make arrangements with Vic and get him there, that they're going to reap in spades whatever they put into it. I mean, they're going to get, the same thing with KamehaCon. I mean, he draws people to the show. He'd be, as far as Dragon Ball conventions, I mean, I was going to take a look at their lineup. I only know about Chuck Wendig. Not Chuck Wendig. Oh, God, sorry.
Chuck Wendig.
Chuck Huber. Don't. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for suggesting that. It was just a slip. It was a slip of the tongue.
I know. I believe Josh Martin's going. Boo and Hercule. Chris Rager, I believe.
Josh Martin doesn't like me very much.
Well, it's okay. You know,
Yeah, I'd
it's
give
all
him.
right. No big deal.
I'd give him a hug, but
Turn into a jelly bean.
only without his
And this
consent.
and these statements are in connection with SaiyaCon. I'm not speaking on their behalf. I'm just simply suggesting that, you know, considering that he might take his role a little too serious sometimes, that he might suggest turning you into a jelly bean and eating you potentially.
Yeah. What the weird thing was, like, I don't have any problem with this guy. He came out really hard against me, and I was like, okay. I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal. Yeah. So Chuck Huber, Ian Sinclair, Josh Martin, and Peter Calamus. Peter Calamus is Goku.
Yes, Calamus was great.
Ian Sinclair is Whis from Super. So, and Josh Martin, of course, is Hercule and or Mr. Satan in Japan.
Josh Martin is Boo.
Oh, he's
Josh
Boo.
Martin is Boo. Chris Rager, also... you're talking about Chris Rager. That's Hercule.
Oh, okay.
The guy who called you like a fuckhead or something.
Oh
yeah,
like that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
I think I should go to every I should go to like a Dragon Ball recording party sometime, because
sure,
I think one person there might like me. Everybody else would be like, "Oh, you're that." I don't even know how much profanity they could muster, but it would.
Can I just address something in chat real quick, if you don't mind?
Yeah, dude, whatever.
Yeah, so there's a few people asking me about a video or footage for Dominique's guy getting thrown out of the convention.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that too.
Yeah, so people think that the video entails her getting dragged out by her bunny ears, or something like that. I feel like that's what people want to see. The footage itself, staff has it. I saw it. A handful of people saw it. We laughed at it, not out of spite, not out of ill intent or malicious intent, just simply because it's weird how things work out. So just to summarize, I was told I would get access to the footage. I did have access to the footage at the convention, but considering, like I said, I was working, and obviously the owners and staffs and stuff like that, we were just running around nonstop. I have yet to receive the actual footage, but so basically what the footage entails is, one, the owner not being aware that this stuff is being recorded. And essentially, she was being asked where she got the guest pass from. There were concerns in regards to the things that she was saying on Twitter, on social media primarily, not just Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. Any social media platform that you can think of in regards to safety concerns for the convention. So they were wondering what she was doing there and just making sure that she wasn't here to start trouble. Because obviously, I mean, you put two and two together. I mean, we're human. Business aside, we're human. Someone like a Sky shows up to your con after saying the things she was saying on Twitter, and you show up during like a high traction time of the day after a Monica Rial sighting. I think people think that IStandWithVic people kind of create this narrative or picture that, oh, Sky is some horrible person, but I don't think she understood that the steps and the sequence of events and choices that she chose to make are what painted that picture specifically. So what I mean is this: she goes to Monica's meet and greet. The comic shop posts and tweets about it on Twitter. She's there talking to Monica. Her and a friend are there talking to Monica. It's all on video. It's all on picture. A few hours later, they show up to KamehaCon. She has a guest pass that doesn't belong to her. And, well, guest pass were handed out by me and a few other people. So there's no way she could have gotten it because she wasn't invited as a guest. There's suspicion that she may have been given a guest pass from another cosplayer, potentially, only because that's more than likely, as opposed to people thinking it was a voice actor that gave it to her. I don't know who gave it to her. To my knowledge, I haven't been updated on that. But specifically what the video entails is that her being, addressed professionally and properly. She had a friend with an actual standard pass or premium pass, whatever. I know Sky claimed that she purchased the pass and had a receipt for it. I'm also told that she actually claimed that she was requested a refund. So like I said, my memory is kind of groggy on that. But to my knowledge, she was wearing a guest pass. Her friend was wearing a 3-day pass or a premium pass, whatever. I did provide a picture to showcase and prove that, despite the fact that she was denying that she had access to a guest pass. She says she got it from a friend. Well, a friend more than likely could be a VA. It could be a cosplayer. It doesn't really matter. The point is, she was in the building unwarranted after claiming she had a pass of her own, despite not wearing that same pass that she claimed that she purchased. And basically, after being, approached about it, she made the harassment claim, and her husband was recording for her. Another staff member noticed that he was recording the footage the minute she started talking about, well, why are you guys harassing me? I feel like I'm being harassed. And at that point, once they noticed that they were recording that, the staff asked the guy, you got to remove that footage. That's a no-go, because it's obviously based on ill intent, right?
Yeah.
And to paint a nasty picture. And at that point, the owner was just like, you know what? You got to leave. Now you're just causing trouble. You got to leave. You don't leave, I'll call police, I'll call security. She resisted in the sense where it's like, well, why are you harassing me? You know, basically like trying to fight back verbally, not, you know, maliciously to my knowledge, but just the idea of just insinuating that the owner of the event, the same owner that invested over $24,000 in security because of security concerns, not a virtually no blind spots in the actual convention center itself, to insinuate that now the owner is harassing you directly after like literally, you know, shitting bricks for you as a consumer, is just mind boggling. So she was asked to leave, and eventually she did leave. I saw her pull up in her, I guess, in her car with her friend, her husband, stuff like that. And her friend, another cosplayer, I forgot her name, but she was cosplaying as Launch. She was allowed to stay despite being with Dominique and despite also having her own personal camera person. She was allowed to stay, regardless of being friends with Dominique. Dominique would have been allowed to stay as well had she complied and answered a couple questions, and had she had not had that guest pass. She wouldn't answer those specific questions. So basically, that's what the video entails. It's just basically her being told to leave. It's her being approached professionally and respectively, and her not complying. That's what the video is. We don't have footage of her actually getting tossed out. I will say that people did celebrate, not for Vic's sake either, but it was just people like that understood why she was there. And yeah, I mean, after that, it was like we all forgot about it, and we just basically got on with the rest of our evening.
Did anybody yell, "Be gone, thought"?
I wouldn't be surprised. I got a phone call from the guy who I was working for. And he said, "Hey, like, if you see this guy in the building, she has to go." So I said, "Where is she?" And I asked, where are you? And he's like, "Well, I'm coming down the elevator right now, the staff elevator right now. I'll meet you downstairs." He basically told us what happened. And then we saw her pulling out, like she was leaving. She was getting in the car with her husband and her Bulma Bunny friend, and she was leaving. Like, it was like, what, between 5 and 6 p.m. roughly on Saturday. That's when I came on. I had DM'd you guys in group chat, say that I need to talk to you guys, but none of you were available. So I reached out to Senpai because he was available at the time. That's when Senpai put out that tweet, and I concurred the tweet. I corroborated it, and then I went back to enjoy my day, and that was it. Pretty much it. I gave him the details. I had their permission. I asked them, because one of the things I will say that she said when she was told to leave the building is, "See you on Twitter." And it's like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? It's arguably on film. Why would you say that? I mean, I don't understand. She legit said that to the owner. "I will see you on Twitter." So you already know where this goes. And it goes to substantiate your point before, where the stuff that happens on Twitter isn't really happening in real life. That's not what correlates to that. So the idea of thinking that she can go back on Twitter and just shit on the con while it's happening, because that's arguably when we would have been at our weakest. The owner's concerned with the actual events that are taking place. We're not going to be on social media. We're all going to enjoy ourselves. Yeah. So I asked respectfully, both of them. I said, "Do you want me to take care of it? I'll stop that shit right now." And they said, "Abso-fucking-lutely," verbatim. And that was it. And obviously she claimed to have footage of her own. It never went up for reasons, because I guess she saw my tweets. So there you go.
Yeah. If she had that footage making them look bad, it would just magically never show up. Is amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Tweet me IRL.
I see that. Yeah, I see that, Andrew.
That's good. A good one. That's good. Okay, we've got Patrick L says, "It's Cinco de Mayo. I'm drunk and I work tomorrow. You don't want to know how long it took to write this." I do, buddy. Travis the Bard says, "Should whiskey be chilled or better warm? What is your opinion?" Always room temperature. If you have to chill the whiskey, in my opinion, it's because the whiskey is of lower quality. I always drink it room temperature, neat. I don't add water. Don't at me on adding water. That's for you to do, not for me. I take it as it comes out of the bottle. That's my preference. So you do what you want, though. Enjoy your whiskey your way. So I think that kind of covers the con subjects I wanted to talk about. But there is another larger sort of topic that I talked about at the beginning that I kind of like to circle back around on and get your thoughts. Because as you, I'm sure, are aware, because of the nature of this whole thing, there's some drama over the past probably 5-6 days, I guess, is the apt amount of
when
time.
You were suspended, basically.
Yeah, when I was suspended,
yep.
It kind of flared up. And then when I came back, people were asking, like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I haven't. And even
Before
after...
we jump,
oh,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, even after I came back, like I kept hearing about it, but I didn't see it. But I get a lot of notifications, and I have been, May has been very busy for me personally. Okay. So I don't know. But what were you going to say now?
I was going to maybe suggest that I just got to run to the bathroom real quick. I'm loaded on liquids right now just for this stream. So if you don't mind, maybe addressing a couple of super chats while I just run to the bathroom real quick, maybe.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then we'll jump on that as soon as I get back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay, I've got Bubba Fest or Rick Nikita. Rick Nikita says Bubba Fest, yes/no. I want to go. I very much want to go. That's I've got babysitters for Hawaii, but I don't have babysitters for Bubba Fest yet. So I don't know, but we've got a new lead. So wish me luck. I will tell you as soon as I know. CNN Slayer says met Sabbath and Schemmel today at Fan Expo. Schemmel clearly did not want to be there, and Sabbath's line was puny, like 30 people. Granted, that was comparing it to the Mayhew tribute and Phil Lamar. Butthole Weeb. Is that the first one over here? I think I need to go just a couple back. Jordan Rhodes says, love your streams. Keep doing what you do, Nick. Thank you. Ink Penification. I got a package from you, but I don't have it here. It's upstairs. So thank you. I'll get it on tomorrow's stream and make sure I thank you properly. Vic's case contains some similarities between the MJ case. It's fleeping discussing how both individuals have their names tossed aside in a dump. Yeah, absolutely. Butthole Weeb says, I made a montage of you saying, I love Bukkake. You're welcome. Butthole Weeb says, my bad, Nick. Bukkake, because he spelled it wrong the first time. Sorry, should have known my Asian. Andrew War Snowboard says, Ron Toye has no marbles. Pixel Rush says, I met Vic at KamehaCon yesterday. Gave you and Anime Outsiders a shout out to him. Super nice guy. Glad things are looking up for him. Me too.
All right, back.
Oh, welcome back. Freighter J says, Nick, what is your favorite anime? And I gotta be a cheesy, lame person and go with Cowboy Bebop. It's good.
No, that's proper. That's very popular, actually.
I know, that's why I don't have like an obscure, weird
it's a solid show.
Anime. It's just too good. Plus, in the movie, when Vincent hits him, and like hits him in the ribs, and Spike goes, oh. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That hit was devastating.
I can't stress enough how many people have referred me to that show. It's definitely on their top 5, top 10 easily, for sure.
It's a good one. And to flex my mild anime cred, I was watching it on imported VHSs as it came out. So there you go. Okay, so talk to me about this drama, because like I heard your name pop up a whole bunch of times, and I'm like, Emosh and I are cool, so I don't know what anybody's issue is. I have no idea. So can you help clarify some of this for me? Just because like I said, I legitimately don't know if I should hate you or not.
Well, that's up to you. I mean, I think we established earlier that we weren't really friends.
Yeah, well, we can't be, because
for our future safety. Yeah,
right. That's just that's insurance.
Yeah,
that's insurance.
I'll be friends with you for maybe like 5 years tops.
Right.
Past 10 can't do it. Certainly can't do it past 15 or 20.
No way. How many times you will have raped me when we revise history will be just way too much.
Yeah,
way too much.
Too much to remember at least. All right, so I guess to my knowledge, the first thing that I got involved with was this thing with like Ghost Shell Zen.
Yeah.
A multitude of tweets were put out on this. I think it's a guy. I'm not sure. I don't want to misgender. God forbid.
You get thrown off of everything.
Yeah, I don't want this stream to get strucketh with thine W hammer. But anyway, so it's like a couple of tweets are put out, and it's not like I disagree with the whole tweet. I simply quoted one specific portion of that tweet that was in reference to a GoFundMe. It's a Vic's GoFundMe primarily. That now the GoFundMe was under attack, and that it's they're trying to take it down. And this is around the time that you were taken off the platform, to my knowledge, indefinitely at that time, right? That was Twitter, right? So I simply said that I started off my response by saying, I appreciate everything you do. So and it's true. I mean, I'm usually pretty straightforward. I've always been straightforward people. I've always been very, I guess, arguably blunt, direct, I guess, standoffish to some extent, but fair, I think, in my assessment. I don't speak on things I don't know because I am someone who's kind of, I don't want to say terrified, but I don't like to be wrong. But that doesn't mean that I can't admit to being wrong either, which is why I jumped on board with this whole, I guess, alleged movement, for lack of a better term, was that it was founded on this idea that facts over everything. Right. If you don't have anything substantial, if you don't have any kind of, forget evidence, I mean hardcore facts, right? Like something to really get me on board to say, you know what, man, I will support this message. I'm going to call it out only because I don't want people to think that. And that's, when you have a voice, it's not to say that Ghost Shell Zen had a voice or doesn't have a voice. Part of the reason I do that, I think it's important for us to make sure that when we say something is happening, that we're right. That when we say something is happening, that we're clear that it's either a speculation currently until further notice, which is something that I do, which is something that you do. And when you assert something as a fact and you don't provide anything and you simply just assume that people will believe it because another content creator said it or another influential voice said it, whoever, it doesn't matter, that doesn't make it right. And it's not in the sense where it becomes a point where we have to start policing people's content or anything like that. It's nothing like that, nothing remotely close to it. But it's just this idea that we were founded on truth, that we were founded on speaking on things that we know for sure is happening. And to assess or to assume that now, $146,000 later, that the GoFundMe was in danger of being taken down with Nick Rekieta off the platform, arguably a platform that he doesn't even get that much push on. Because my understanding is that, the GoFundMe took off on YouTube primarily. Obviously, the link was shared on Twitter too. But your biggest value, you are most marketable on YouTube. Yeah. The live streams, everything that you've done from day one has been on YouTube. So, and I also assessed that we carried this torch through Nick. That Nick being off of Twitter doesn't mean that the GoFundMe is in jeopardy. If anything, $146,000 is evidence enough to support what I'm saying, right? So I simply just don't agree with telling people that the GoFundMe is now in jeopardy of being taken down with Nick Rekieta off the platform. And there's no way you can get me to believe that. It's bullshit. And I said it out with it. It is bullshit. And the idea was, from my presumption, it was to get people riled up again, simply because a lawsuit was already happening. So to my understanding was the lawsuit's happening. We have no specifics as of yet. Nick hasn't informed us of anything. And just because Nick is off of Twitter doesn't mean that you guys don't know who he is. It's up to us to carry on that same torch that he's been carrying, in the sense where he speaks on things he knows. And if he says that he's speculating on something, even if he says that he's heard whispers and chirp and rumors and buzzings and all this other stuff, he labels it as such. He doesn't tell us to go with it, until further notice. And that's something that I think is important. So I disagree with it. Some people said that I was aggressive. Some people said that I was harsh. To me, I've always been the same way I've always been. I'm not going to change that because I speak on what I know indefinitely and definitively. So I disagreed. I quote tweeted it. And instead of a response of saying, well, okay, sorry about that, I'll correct the tweet, or okay, thanks for elaborating. Or even if, oh, but this person said this, then I would have reached out to the source, or, we could have done it amicably, right? Yeah. What I got was a quote of my tweet, in addition to another chain of tweets that included Jamie Marchi and Renfamous, and someone stating whether, I'm pretty sure the person was being sarcastic, but Ghost Shell Zen goes on to tweet first by saying, I hope, Monica does well in her case and Vic wins, all this other stuff. Obvious sarcasm. But the second tweet is in reference to IStandWithVic killing itself from within, and my tweet was used to substantiate that claim. I didn't like that because I don't understand where out of nowhere I became a cancer to the community. It wasn't to my understanding that just because I call things the way they are, like I've always done, I've gotten support of that, that all of a sudden now that just because I'm disagreeing with you or someone on the same side, that means that we're killing each other from within. To assess anything remotely close to that, and to just go for that kind of a low blow and just basically play the victim card, because after that, the person goes on to say that I'm done with Twitter and I'm being called a liar and all this other crap. I never called you a liar. I just simply said you were misinformed. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So after that, I respond by saying, well, that's cowardice. You're a coward. And I didn't like how someone played the victim card, tied my tweet to this idea that IStandWithVic is has some cancerous people within it that's killing itself from within and all this other crap, and people are fighting each other from within. I didn't like that simply because it was an attack on everything that I've done, simply because I don't like when people insult my intelligence, and it's not an ego trip or anything. It's just simply, if you have something to say, if you have an opinion and you're grandstanding as a fact, I will gladly challenge it and we can talk about it civilly. But to assess this idea that I was being too harsh, and now all of a sudden I'm supposed to be considered for your specific feelings because of any past traumas that you've had in your life that I'm unaware of, you're putting too much on my plate. You're putting too many variables and chains around my feet simply because I'm simply saying that I disagree with you because you're misinformed. And that's generally the context of it. After that, some people backlashed. I was okay with it. I offered them a voice chat. I said, you can debate me on that. We can talk about it. And a lot of people were supportive. It's not what I wanted. It's simply to just show that we can't pass on speculations or ascertain things as fact when they're not factual. Yes, the GoFundMe technically has been under attack since day one. You don't get to make the same claim $146,000 later. That's my point. And the fact that it's racked up that much money is evidence of the fact that it has more support than threats of being taken down. And then you followed up with your statement. And I'm assuming it's because people were coming to you about it. I basically followed through with saying, yeah, hopefully, now, and I said it the way I said it, and I mean it. I'm not going to apologize for it. It's not me being a dick. It's just simply, I disagree with you guys. You guys didn't like it. You made it evidently clear to me. And instead of us, talking about it civilly, some people suggested that I should have gone private. I should have DM'd people. For what? It's a public tweet on a social media platform. I'm more than willing and able, and I have the right to be able to disagree with it civilly. So it wasn't an attack on anybody's character. It wasn't an attack on anybody's work that they've put forward in this movement. And to assess that, or to assume that I should simply follow you because we're on the same side, that's not how this works. It's not how it works for me. And I don't think it should work like that for anybody, especially if you claim to be an individual. So that's just how I feel about that. It was just a simple disagreement. It's to my understanding that Hero Hey covered it on a live stream. I wasn't aware of the live stream. I popped into the live stream. I told him it's cool, that he wasn't making things worse. But there were certain things that he knew about that on that stream. And I talked to him in private about this. I don't think it should be an issue for me to say anything in public. I'm not disclosing any personal information or anything like that. We talked we talked about it privately, and I simply told him what my problem was. That I wasn't appreciative of the fact that, well, okay, I agree that the stream was fine, but now people are they keep changing the story, and people within our own ranks, people within our own quote unquote hashtag are changing or are taking the story to where they think that I'm just stressed out, that I need to take a break, that they're concerned for me and my mental health and all this other crap, when it had nothing to do with mental health. It had nothing to do with me being stressed out. It's simply me being the same guy I've always been. Maybe some people just came on board recently and they don't know who I am, and that's totally fine, which is why I always offer debates. I always offer people the platform and a voice to speak if they disagree with me. But don't grandstand an opinion as a fact and expect for me to also support and spread that message when I know that's not what's happening. Nick being tossed off of Twitter doesn't mean the GoFundMe is in jeopardy, because YouTube is that's where Nick's voice comes from. It's primarily on YouTube. Twitter is just nothing more than support, and the GoFundMe has received most of its support off of YouTube, most of its financial backing off of YouTube, and because of YouTube. And we've all carried that torch through Nick Rekieta. That was my point. And some people agreed, some people disagreed, which is fine. And after that, all of a sudden, there was infighting. So I'm going to leave it there. There's more about, I'll leave it there. And that's to my understanding, unless someone knows anything else, we can talk about it for sure. But yeah, that's all I know.
That's very helpful for me, because I literally had no idea what was going on. So thank you for that, because like I didn't even know what people were saying. Again, thrown off of Twitter, hard to follow all of the stuff with the notifications and everything. So yeah, let me reiterate to everybody, I assume the GoFundMe has been attacked from day one, but I've never gotten anything from GoFundMe that suggested any concern, cause for concern, alarm. I can confirm, if you didn't see it in the other streams, that the GoFundMe money is being transferred as it comes in. It's just like a day or two transfer time. So if you donate today, your money gets transferred to the IOLTA account for Beard, Harris, Bullock, and Hughes. like either it would be, if you donated today, it'd be either Monday or Tuesday, probably that money goes in. So the worst possible outcome would be they take down the GoFundMe, and then 1 day of donations to 2 days of donations get lost. Everything else is already transferred. So just to clear that up, but GoFundMe has never ever sent a negative thing. Now I understand, I think, where Ghost Shell is coming from, because I know some platforms like Patreon, for example, where if you are found to be doing hateful content off of Patreon, oh excuse me, like Sargon, they said, you know, it wasn't on his own videos that he said the things that they banned him for from Patreon. It was on someone else's videos. So it was technically off of their platform or whatever. So then they got rid of Sargon. So I guess the thinking is probably, well, if Nick gets banned on Twitter for hateful content, maybe now people can take that to GoFundMe and say, look, he was hateful here. And I guess if I'm trying to like get in the mind of them, that's where I go. That's where I go as to what would be motivating that. I don't know that GoFundMe works that way. But you know, I think that was probably the gist of it. I haven't talked to Ghost Shell about this. Like you said at the beginning, Ghost Shell has done a lot for a lot of reporting and stuff. And at some point I probably will have Ghost Shell on as well. Cause like I said, over the next week or 2 weeks, might take 3 weeks, I don't know, I'm going to be trying getting a bunch of Vic content creators who I haven't ever spoken to on the show, just to get kind of a more broad voice, let people know who's out there doing work, have people meet the people who are doing this work and interact with them on my channel, you know, just a little bit and see what we can talk about. So, but yeah, I know it got blown up into everybody's infighting. That's literally what I heard, is everything is falling apart and people are infighting. And I'm like, how in God's name is anything falling apart? We're winning. We're winning. So
yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's all I've really got on the subject. I just kind of wanted to hear from someone involved what was going on. But to be very clear to you guys, Emosh and I have, because someone asked if like I would ever have you on the show again because of what happened, and I'm like, what the hell? Of course I'd have Emosh on. He and I are fine. So
yeah, and that's the issue with like having different voices say different things. You know,
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people watch all of us entirely collectively because we cover it.
Right.
But once we start saying different things, well, that's what happens. Infighting, allegedly. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, people disagree, debate me. It's that simple.
Yeah, and I think really this probably came about from two factors, and we mentioned this earlier, but it's really, there's a lull in activity. This is natural in any court case. You have your big buildup, court papers are filed, you get to read the complaint, and then you have 21 days minimum, depending on the service, 21 days minimum to get an answer. And in that 21 days, it's been building up. It's been building up for months. You know, I started talking about a court case back in February. It's been building up and building up and building up. And then we wait. And it sucks. Trust me, it sucks as a lawyer too, because once you're ready for that, once you get all your stuff together, you've done all this research, you've put everything into this complaint, you're ready to go, you're ready to sue this person into oblivion because they deserve it, because they're a giant scumbag, and then wait. It really sucks.
It's gonna take some time. These things don't happen right away. It takes up to like, I mean, I had a housing situation and that took like 3 years.
Yeah,
just to get it wasn't even a settlement. It was just like, just to get some kind of result. So not to say this would be the same, but you know, just gotta stay on track, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the full resolution of this case, unless something weird happens, if it goes to trial, you can expect it to take a year, at least a year. That's just the nature of it. That's if it goes to trial. That's if there's no major hiccups or weird revelations that come out of discovery that make for crazy motion practice, and no settlements. I mean, settlements can make it go faster. Crazy revelations in discovery could make it take longer. I mean, maybe they find out that that someone else was really involved that needs to be included. That could make things take longer, because then they're going to have motion practice on dismissing the motion, or on dismissing the cause of action against their party. We're going to have a TCPA claim that's going to slow things down by a month to 90 days, depending on if they want to go through with it after the initial stuff happens. You know, there are things that slow this down, and that's inevitable. There are going to be lulls, and people need to just go ahead and relax. People are going to disagree a little bit, but I think the other part of that, of course, was in conjunction with me being kicked off Twitter, which of course, you know, raises people's hackles, right? Their alarm bells go off. Whoa, this person got kicked off of Twitter. And then of course, in that same time, I can't come out and say, you know what, everything's okay, because I'm not there. So, you did. I mean, you did technically through other means, right? Right.
And even then people was just, you know, still riled up, and rightfully so. It's just a matter of like, just staying on track, really. That's really it. That's really what it's about. Yep.
But and again, I want to stress that I think it's important that we don't get into this idea, though, that people need to be policed, that people's speech needs to be like compliant or complicit with an idea. You know, the reality is we're all individuals. Sometimes we're going to get things wrong, or sometimes we're going to have a different opinion on something. And, you know, we're going to, hopefully as a community, we come together and call people out in the appropriate ways. You responded to a public tweet with a public tweet. I don't see any problem with that, but I didn't see the tweet. And if Ghost Shell had a problem with it at that point, you know, I don't know the best way to respond. It's Twitter, it's text. This is the hardest part of text, is that there's never context, inflection, body language, none of those other cues to know what's going on. If you don't know someone, you might take one of their casual manners of speech in a wrong way, and things can just degrade really quickly. But, you know, I'm glad we got to talk about it, though, because I was flipping lost. I'll tell you.
I mean, I was too, up until it was covered, and I was just like, all right, I'd be willing to talk about it. Never appeared on Hero's stream after that, so I was just like, all right, no big deal. It's dropped. Then you came to me with it, and I was just like, what the fuck are these people talking about?
Yeah,
like, I'm not fighting with anybody specifically. It's just a disagreement. It's okay.
Yep.
You know, we're still all right. We're good.
Absolutely. And then just to remind people, we're 7 days out. Monday the 13th. The answer is due for Monica and Ron Toye. Monday the 13th. And as soon as I can confirm deposition dates, I will do that. As soon as I can confirm service of Funimation, as soon as I can confirm service of Marky, I will do that. And hopefully someday, I'll get to confirm a lawsuit being filed against Mars Girl, because I would love to see Mars Girl get what's coming to her. And I think that she is despite her protestations and stupidity, I think that she is a driving force in all of this. Creating the hashtag is not a mistake or an accident. The direct messages between people who may or may not be employed at Anime News Network, suggesting that once they're done with Vic, they have to figure out the next person on the list to go after. That's not a coincidence. That's a conspiracy. And especially if it was from an Anime News Network writer or another Channel Awesome writer like Beth Fat Elderkin. Wait, did I say that? That must be the whiskey. Beth Elderkin. If she's involved with Mars Girl and sent out that article from IO9, for example, that they left out material facts in that article, that could certainly make it a defamatory article under the standards that are out there. Vic did not insert himself into the drama. They would have a hard time, because they'd have to prove he was a public figure, which is not as easy to do as people think it is, especially in the weird world of social media. So I would love to be able to report that Mars Girl is served, and hopefully at some point I'll get to do that. But look forward to a week from Monday for the answer, because then Toye's lawyer and Rial's lawyer is going to lay out the basic strategy of their case, probably provide some evidence. Maybe it's something we've seen, maybe it's something we haven't seen. Remember, hundreds of women are coming forward. They're just lined up with all of their stories, and we get to see if they have anything or if they have a certain spreadsheet or whatever, a Google document that's been floating around the internet. And oh my God, I hope all they have is a Google document, because it's going to look real stupid when they go into court and they're like, see, we've got a Google document of anonymous stories about Vic Mignogna. And the judge is like, are you for real? This is what, how do you know any of these are true? You believe things on the internet? I read you're a cuck on the internet. Is that true?
Mrs./Mr.?
Yeah, Mr./Mrs. Soye. Is that true? Is that
Which
true?
one is it?
Yeah. So, you know, just bear in mind that we do have some stuff coming up here very soon. We get to see the basic layout of their case, and then those depositions will be had very soon. And I think those are going to give us a real direction, that because cases are won and lost at deposition all the time. Ask Ron and Monica, because they either, in their housing dispute over toxic mold, and I think that was just Ron being in the house, but over toxic mold in their apartment or whatever, they sued their landlord, and after Monica and Ron were deposed, they settled the case. So either they, and I don't know the terms of the settlement. I don't know if they won or if they lost or if they had some awful thing, but it's possible that either they had some solid factual evidence that they were able to disclose in deposition, or it's possible that they lied in deposition, or they weren't able to produce anything useful and they had to settle after that negatively. Don't know. I'm not going to imply one way or another. I literally don't know. So, but they know for a fact that cases are often won or lost at deposition. So those depositions happening will be very, very important. And I will let you know as soon as I know anything about them, of course, because we want to, this is the stuff. This is the meat. This is the meat of the case. All this buildup, you guys knew about the buildup because you've been following the stuff that's happening on Twitter. I mean, sure, you're going to see things here and there that you can't follow because there's too much info, but you knew the gist of it. You knew the gist of it. And now we're going to get to start seeing those things come out that that we didn't see come out before. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Let me read a couple of these real quick. We've got Zaire the Hedgehog says, hey, Nick, my friend watches your stuff too, and she made a little present for your intern. She was hoping she'd like it, so hopefully she gets to see it. Thank you, and keep up all the great work. It is a wonderful picture, and I will make sure that my intern gets to see it. Thank you so much. RZEQDW says, you need to cosplay as Phoenix Wright when you go to Matsuri. We'll see. I don't know if I can put enough wax or glue in my hair to get it to do that. And then Nova Zero says, tons of women is factually correct. Calculate or collect all the Kick Vic accusers, weigh them. It takes 7 of them to make a ton. Outlawed / lawyered, Nick. Thank you. Thank you. Well, man, I don't know if I've got too much else to talk about tonight as far as Vic goes, and as far as your situation goes. Thank you again for explaining that, talking about the cons with me. I've been wanting to talk to you about KamehaCon since it happened, but things have, of course, been just ridiculous, as you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But was there anything else you wanted to add? I've got a bunch of chats to read, but I know you're East Coast, so if you wanted to... Yeah,
it's pretty late for me. I'm just going to sign out. Just like I said, thanks for having me on again. It's always a pleasure. Yes, in the future, see what happens. I mean, I'm not really looking to cover the stuff anymore. I'm waiting for the lawsuit specifically. Yeah. I'll be keeping tabs on it. I put out a tweet just explaining everything. I'm just going to sit back, enjoy the show, see what happens. Hopefully, Vic comes through. It's likely that he will, but we'll see what happens going forward. But like I said, thanks for the invite. And I'll talk to you guys on Twitter, I guess, at Emosh Live. Pretty much it.
Yeah, check him out on Twitter, and make sure you go check out his channel if it's the content you like. Because you do mostly Dragon Ball Z stuff, right? Or Dragon Ball stuff.
Well,
right?
I come from that fandom, so when the show comes back, I'm looking forward to covering it. So
yeah, so go check out his channel for Dragon Ball and other related stuff. And thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me, man. Anytime.
Yep. All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. Appreciate it.
All right, all right. The headphones are off. The ears are warm. Look at that. Look at that. Red ears. Oh my goodness. And I need a haircut, guys. Getting a little long up top. Okay. Okay. So, we've got some chats to read. I was thinking about covering another topic tonight, but I think I'm going to put it off until later this week. One, because I'm tired. And I kind of want to wind down a little bit. And two, because it's not at all related to Vic. I was going to talk about this guy, Austin Young. Austin Young, I think his name is, a YouTuber who is just pled guilty to soliciting sexually explicit materials from minors. I think it's Austin Young. And ironic last name, I guess, Young. I'm gonna cover his case. I'm gonna get the documents. It looks like it's in federal court, so I should be able to get all the documents and figure out exactly what he did. This is part of a series that I've done. If you're only joining the channel since the Vic stuff, I have a series called How to Catch and Convict a Predator. Okay? And we go through and we talk about how the federal government typically, because those are the easiest documents to get, finds out about, catches usually by inducing some sort of illegal activity or confession, and then convicts a predator, a sexual predator, a real one, not a hugged me at a convention sexual predator, but like someone who collects child pornography, or someone who is actually attempting to or has offended on a real child. And we go through the documents. They're hard streams. Austin Jones. Okay, thank you so much. They're hard streams to deal with because the content and the subject matter, when it's put on paper, I'm telling you, it gets a little uncomfortable to read, like what people are doing to kids and asking kids to do. Kind of awful. But this one I don't think will be as brutally disgusting as the other ones. But I'll be doing that sometime this week. I have to preview this or preface this. Tuesday night, there will not be a stream, and that's part of the reason we've got a stream tonight. Tuesday night, there will not be a stream. I will be with my wife at a live event, a live theater show, and so I will not be able to stream. I will be at a theater show and a cast party or whatever. So yeah, there in Minneapolis. I will not be able to do a live stream on Tuesday, but I'm doing this extra one. Friday was supposed to be the Big Brain panel. Friday, I think I'm going to be in Miami, and I don't think I'm going to be able to live stream from my hotel because I'm guessing the Wi-Fi there is garbage. Even though it's a ridiculous like spa resort, but typically I've learned this, when you go to a spa resort, they don't care about their internet so much. They're more like buy our spa products. So I won't be able to do that. My friend is getting married. I'm going to be spending time with him and our other friends. And so I won't be streaming Friday of this coming week either. So I apologize for that. But that's just how it goes. But will you defend yourself? Yeah, I've never been to Miami. But we'll be only at the nice parts of it, I guess. But take pics of date night. Yeah, I'll probably will and put them up on Instagram or whatever. So yeah. All right, let me read through super chats that are out there. Thank you so much as always for supporting the show and supporting me. And then I will probably, fair warning, I will probably do a Twitch stream tonight after I go up. After this show ends, I just got to go grab a snack, and then I'll probably do a Twitch stream so we can do that. But that's just a preview of this coming week. I'm going to be working on getting Razor Fist on the show. I'm going to be working on getting, what's that guy? The Games as a Service video guy who talked about Games as a Service is fraud. I can't remember his name. Something Casual? You know what I'm talking about. One of you guys, if you know the name of the guy in the chat, please send it to me so I can remember it. I'm working on getting him on the show. I really want to talk about the Games as a Service thing because I think he's nailed it. I'm going to try and get some uniform commercial code to back it up. Accursed Farms, not Casual. Accursed Farms. I've sent him a DM and a tweet on Twitter, and once I get a response on that, I'll be trying to set up a show with him soon. I don't know if it's this week. I think it's next week. I think it's not this coming week, but the next week. I'm hopefully going to have Helen Dale on. She is a UK free speech attorney, and she's writing an article right now for a major publication about Article 13, and I'm going to have her come on the show. She was on my show a long time ago when my channel only had like 5,000-6,000 subscribers. She came on to talk about Count Dankula. She's going to come on again with a much different sort of show, and we're going to talk about Article 13 and what Article 13 means for YouTube as it'll apply to UK citizens, as it'll apply to US citizens, as it'll apply to everything. We're going to talk about that. I know she's doing significant research on it to write her article right now, so it'll be perfect timing. She just said, wait till the article drops, and then she'll come on the show. So I don't know. I think that's going to be not this coming week, but the next week. So that should be a big show. People have been asking me to cover Article 13 for a while, and I said, I'm not a Briton. I'm not a Euro. So I can't. Their legal system is similar to ours. It's based on common law, but it's vastly different precedents and stuff like that. I just want to make sure that I get this right. So shockingly, I actually do admit my personal shortcomings in research and knowledge. So I'm bringing on someone who is an expert in that area of law, who is an expert in that jurisdiction as well, so we can get an informed discussion on it, and also someone with a proper free speech perspective, because that's what really matters in this stuff is making sure our perspectives are aligned with my perspective is aligned with my values. Your perspective should be aligned with your values, of course. Dulcet Tone says, Nick, Super Cherry here. Hey, thank you. About to catch a predator, need some advice. Got a recorded confession of one, but the solicitation was international. Who do I need to get the evidence to get the police to do something? That is a great question. Email me. We'll figure it out. Oh, and Ty doesn't know this yet. But there's a certain senator, an aspiring senator, Brian Hughes, out of Beard, Herrick, Bullock, and Hughes. And Brian Hughes has just put a bill in the Texas legislature to prevent deplatforming on social media platforms that put themselves out there as open forums. So he's advancing this in the Texas legislature. And I know what some of you might initially be thinking, well, that's just one state. What about the other 49? Many online privacy practices in the industry come from specifically California legislation. That's COPPA, I think is, what is it, COPA, which is the California Online Privacy Protection Act or something like that. I'm a little rusty on it. I'm a certified expert in cybersecurity law, but lately I've been covering anime. So I don't remember the specific acronym, but COPA is the California Privacy Act, and it or maybe it's just California Online Privacy Act, something like that. But it is driving the industry's practices. Same with like the GDPR, I think is what it is, which is the General Data Protection Act, which is a UK or a Eurozone act. And again, those practices, because these companies operate in all of these different jurisdictions, if you have a big enough jurisdiction, it has spillover and bleed over into other areas. Now, so Texas is a huge jurisdiction. Twitter would have a big problem if they didn't operate in Texas. Same with Facebook. It would be hard to knock out those all of those users, and they would have real issues with that. So I'm going to respectfully request Senator Hughes to come on my show. I haven't asked Ty about it yet. I haven't asked Senator Hughes about it yet, but I think it'd be great because he put the bill out there. I want to ask him about how he thinks the prospects are. It's already passed the Texas State Senate. All it has to do is pass the Texas House and then go to the governor's desk. I think there's big prospects for this bill. I want to ask him how he's going to address the constitutional challenges, if he's talked to the Attorney General of Texas about those constitutional challenges that are inevitably going to come. There's an infringement of our free speech from Twitter and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask Senator Hughes to come on. I think that would be a great discussion. Also a great opportunity to meet a member of Beard Harris, Bullock and Hughes in context, who I have never met. I've never met Senator Hughes personally. And so I'd love to talk to him about it. So there you go. What else do we have? What else do we have? I think just super chats. Ace Attorney. I was going to do Ace Attorney tonight, but I'm not going to do Ace Attorney tonight because by the time I get it started, it'd be 1:30. I'd probably only want to go till like 2. I don't know if I'd finish the case up. So I'm going to set it up for sometime this coming week. This week, make no mistake, at least one stream will be primarily dedicated to Ace Attorney. So I know you guys, many of you seem to enjoy the Ace Attorney streams. I enjoy doing them. The only reason I took a little bit of longer to do, well, not that long. I've only done 2 of them, but I've taken a little break from them because they are hard on my voice. But a great time to do it might be Thursday, right before I'm going to be off for like several days. So that is coming. Like I said, I will probably still do Twitch tonight, but the voices of Ace Attorney get really taxing on my vocal cords. So, but that is going to happen this week. So there you go. All right. Well, let's read these chats. Where were we? Quietness says, hey Nick, check Discord DMs if you haven't already. Oh, well, I haven't. I don't even have Discord open on my computer. Let's see. It's going to open like right in the hold on one second. Oh no, it's good. What am I checking Discord DMs about? What am I checking Discord DMs about? Tag me, Quietness. I don't know. What? Because I just checked my DMs. I don't see anything particularly noteworthy that needs to come up on the stream. So tag me and let me know what DM you're talking about. Because I don't have one from you. I don't think, do I? Oh, there you are. What you got? For those of you wondering, my Discord is reserved for subscribers on Patreon and New Project 2 at the $5 plus level. Oh, okay. I gotcha, Quietness. Thank you. I did see that. Thank you. And that person has emailed me and I'll be talking to them. So yes. Yes, my Discord is reserved for $5 plus subscribers on Patreon and New Project 2. It's not meant to be like a paywall, except that it is definitely meant to be a paywall. The whole purpose of it though is that we have a smaller community. Open Discords get crazy busy, and people can't keep up, and I don't like that. So if you want to join, New Project 2 or Patreon at the $5 level, I'm considering a Twitch integration as well, but I haven't decided that yet because I know that's a place where people can, subscribe and stuff too. But for now, Patreon and New Project 2, and both those links are in the description of the video if you want to check it out. All right, let's read super chats, and nice shill. It is a shill, and I don't like doing it. I really don't like shilling things that are mine. I'm happy to shill like Vic's GoFundMe and stuff like that. I don't like shilling things that are mine. I'm not good at it. I've never been good at it. It always feels awkward to me. So it's there if you want to join it. If not, don't. It's cool. That's cool. Okay. Where are we? Pixel Rush. Oh, wait. I read that one. Deleted account says Corey in the House is the best anime of all time. Okay. Butthole Weeb says told everyone to keep asking your favorite anime. Good going. Forever229 says, will he be late and gay? I absolutely was. Texan83 says, be sure to ask him when the wedding is and where they are registered for gifts. That's Emosh and Dragon Bay Z. Dustin Fritz Farr says, I'm early for once. Yay, procrastinating at work. Best decision ever. Good job. J-Dubs CCGs, late and gay. Envious Gaming says, first super chat, dog just died. Happy to see. Dog just died. Not first super chat, dog. Sorry. First super chat, dog just died. Happy to see this. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Sorry to hear that. Rex Havoc says, now you're furry late. Oh, man, that's really gay. Dragon Bay Z says, Fantasy Soft Patreon is now up. Please support them. Please support them. Fantasy Soft, is that, that's the studio that was doing the, they were doing an Indiegogo for a game that I think Vic is voicing, something like that. Shamu13, thanks for the donation. Same with Johnny Drake. Ben Carver says, are there legal consequences for the Kick Vic cell phone trick against Yellow Flash? I know several states have laws about using a GPS for intimidation. Maybe. That's up to Flash to pursue. Guys, I honestly wouldn't get too wrapped up in what's going on with Yellow Flash and Kick Vic, because it seems that there's some gay opery that may have been afoot, and just be cautious and all this stuff, and some people might need to relax. Sakaki Onsai says, blow whistle, child-related delay, no late, no gay, first down lawyers. James Blackburn says, it's time for me to unleash my persona, wrecked Ada. Unexpected moist seat. Oh, I missed this one. I'm sorry. And I misread. Goodness gracious. Says, opened a bottle of Lagavulin for the weekend Rekieta stream. What are you drinking? I was drinking tonight Talisker. 10-year Talisker, which is great. I just found out my Walmart sells Lagavulin 16 like $8 cheaper than anywhere else. It's great. Great. I'm going to have to go pick up a bottle soon. Red Philosophy says, I know I wasn't the only one, and others might disagree with this, but I was one of the people who flagged Ren, and not because of Yellow Flash. Oh, wait, I read that one. I just missed the unexpected moist seat. Mr. Leon says, oh, you called me. I'm so sorry. I missed that one earlier. I don't know why I missed it. It didn't show up on my other thing. How stupid. How stupid. I apologize, good sir. I'm hoping that one of my friends can help me figure something out with this. To do it better, more efficiently. Let's see. Mr. Leon says, Nick was going to be on time, but Mars Girl pulled him back with her long arm shouting, get over here. Yeah, she's Dalseem. Why haven't we photoshopped Mars Girl on Dalseem? Oh, God, I'm doing it right away when the stream is done. Oh. Meximan and Cheese says, out of time and out of the closet. Let's see. Dizzy Rhythmia says, hey, Nick, I sent you a message about tweets being copyrighted. My media law lecturer told me they legally were Is this the case, and could it have repercussions for people in this situation? They're legally copyrighted. Yeah. However, in Twitter's terms of service, you agree to give everybody on the earth a license to use those tweets for whatever purpose, for whatever public purpose that you have. So it gets really hairy on you've granted a license to everybody once the tweet is up. After you delete the tweet, you could technically revoke the license. Question is, would the revocation be sufficient? What could you do? Would the revocation be retroactive? Does the revocation of the license need to be in writing? All of these things. There's a lot of questions around that. And then ultimately, if you're adding commentary, critique, and criticism to the copyrighted tweet, are you doing transformative or fair use of the tweet itself? Is another big question, and largely it can be, because I believe, as you said in the email, newspapers do this all the time. Media sources all the time are quoting tweets and throwing them up. It's a little bit different. I mean, tweets are technically creative works that are published because they're in a recordable format. However, you are granting basically an unlimited license under Twitter's terms of service. I would ask your media law lecturer about Twitter's TOS and that licensure. I'm not an expert on it, but my read of it tells me everyone on earth, because it actually says, and you give Twitter and everybody else a license to reuse the material. So, Eve Enticid says, hey, second super chat. Thank you. Just wanted to say you inspired me to become a lawyer. Any advice on someone who hasn't taken their SAT and wants to start law? Pick an area of undergraduate study that you like and do well in it. That's the best thing I can tell you. Do well in your undergraduate study will help you immensely on the way to your legal studies. The LSAT, take it. If you don't get a good enough score, take it again, study it, whatever you need to do. But, you know, if you want to do law, go do it. The best thing you can do, there's no like recommended course. I was a literature and creative writing major. I had philosophy majors, history majors, art majors, music majors, everybody. Every major can be in law because there's legal practices related to every field of study, right? Music, you've got media law, you've got entertainment law, you've got patenting, and you've got intellectual property issues in music. Creative writing, you have intellectual property issues, you have contract drafting, stuff like that. You have all sorts of ways to go with all of the different things. So, but if you have a mathematical mind, I would strongly recommend, if you can stomach it, do a hard science undergraduate. Do a hard science bachelor's undergraduate, physics, chemistry, biology, something like that, because that will get you the opportunity if you choose to do the patent bar, to apply to the patent bar later on. I cannot be a patent attorney. I could do trademark and copyright just fine. I can't do patents because you have to have a hard science undergraduate degree to join the patent bar, and there's a different exam that they have to take as well. So I believe it's a different exam, some sort of competency in the physical sciences. So if you are mathematically inclined, do that as your undergraduate, just because it will open doors beforehand. But if you hate that, don't do it. Don't do what you hate. Do something you like and do it well. There you go. There you go. Next. Austro-Hungarian Strat says, greetings, Imperial citizens. How goes the stream? By the Emperor, this tardiness. No doubt the foul work of Zinch. Such heresy. Yeah, sorry about that. A2P, thank you. Justin Tappe says, take my money. Gladly, thank you. District Enemy says, I want to start a podcast about different cultures in America, like law, entertainment culture. For the stupid culture, I'll ask Shane, lol. Any advice? Just do it. I mean, if you want to start a podcast, do it, and then keep doing it, and keep doing it, and keep doing it. And you're going to suck at it, and then you'll get better. There you go. SF Giants fan Mike says, hopefully your fifth wasn't full of Sith. It was not. It was not. Blue Satoshi says, if he doesn't show up in 15 minutes, we're legally obligated to leave. Irvin Williams says, hey, wake up. Sorry, I was awake. I was just not at the screen. Bad Dragonite says, late but not gay because it's Sunday. Check Twitter DMs. Palix Tobin says, late and transgender. Neil Purcell says, late and defeated by Robo Manus. Rude. Automata says, Jim wants on. Czech Republic. Harbinger 345 says, 11 minutes late, especially gay. Boomer all day. Can't even remember how to stream 24 hours later. Still give it a 10 out of 10. Would again, Boomerbot. Skagi Onzai says, oh wait, we read that one. NC Rid says, my buddy's dad is a judge in the county I live in. I went to his house to play some pool, and we walked in on his dad and my lawyer, 80 plus years old, smoking reefer. Is this common practice? Who's going to prosecute him? Keldo the Horse says, what's good, my hood brother? Have you ever played Hotline Miami? Soundtrack makes me super moist whenever I listen to it. I highly recommend it. No, I was watching my brother-in-law play it. Looks fun. Andrew War Snowboard says, anything special planned for 60K subs? Yes. I've already told Lady Rackets that I expect a full interview, the full 3 hours interview with Lady Rackets at 60,000 subs, and the chat will be able to ask her questions, and she can, you know, talk about her and me and everything. 6660 Leon says, the one from Futurama was Sklim Sklur. Nix Hex says, I've heard Orange Juice. Oh, wait, I read that one and that one. Quantum Video says, thanks for that Discord link. And can you mention Quantum Videos? I have lots of Skyrim content I'm working on, as well as other video games. Ah, man, I was watching stupid Fudge Muppet and ESO today, and I was thinking I might play some Skyrim soon. God, I hate playing Skyrim. I'm just kidding. I like it. That's the problem. I enjoy it, but I hate getting into it because then I get all turned around. So yeah, check out Quantum Videos on YouTube. Check out his content. See if you like it. If you do, subscribe. Baron Von... Wait. I read that one. Pixel Rush says, also just supported on New Project 2. I just got a well-paying job and can now give back to my favorite creators, starting with Nick. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Please email me or something and let me know where you signed up so I can get you a Discord link. Kara Papa says, gun stream when? Soon. I'm going to be buying my trap thrower very soon, and we will be shooting traps in the backyard. Blink Your Eyes 1400 says, a friend of mine posted a picture that said it was okay to go to the hospital and not report rape to the police. I can send you the image if you want. It is okay to go to the hospital and not report a rape to the police. However, don't come back a decade later saying, you know what, I should have reported it. I would encourage everybody to report a rape to the police. I would absolutely do that. But not everybody wants things handled in that way. And what am I going to do? Force someone to talk to the police? That's the antithesis of my life. I do not ever endorse talking to the police. So I would encourage someone to report a rape, of course. But if they don't want to, that's up to them. But no, you're making a trade-off. If you don't go report it, can't come back a decade, 2 decades later, and try and go after the person. You're choosing to resolve this yourself with your own personal healing and your own personal reconstruction. That's a choice that you might have to make. And if you make that, people will respect it. Unless you change your mind later and suddenly decide you've got to go back when there's no way to collect evidence, there's no way for people to be cross-examined, witnesses are hard to find. I've got a real problem with that. Let's see. Next is, goodness gracious, Wapow says, alt-right Band-Aid wearing law child begs for help from alt-right stream after sustaining injuries from another child from the Rekieta family law cult. Nick's disbarred. I just sent in the complaint. Yes. Yes, apparently my son opened the door and it hit the toe of my daughter. So, Band-Aids, Band-Aids. Finnegan Chief says, plug for the Bechtelhoff YouTube comics / fun channel. So there you go. Wapow, thank you for the donations. Moon Egypt says, Nick, your laugh reminds me of a sweet babushka. Well, thank you. Thank you. Wapow says, obtuse angles. Obtuse angles. Forever229 says, for Emosh, did it seem the other VAs had an issue with him? Oh, man. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. But, you know, that's how it goes. Let's see. Blink Your Eyes 1400 says, I was born in Missouri and I take offense to that confusion. Okay. SM Scorx 89 says, don't forget the vandalism at Community. Oh, that's true. There was vandalism at Community, which was really disappointing. Michael McKinney says, Anime Matsuri loves and supports Vic. Bogus Fortune. Bogus Fortune says, how does one sign autographs for 9 hours straight? Depends. Bad Dragonite says, Tupolo is how we pronounce it around here. Gamer Hands Jr. Mr. Rekieta, our old friend Ron Soye had protected his Twitter account. Talk about irony. He should have done that a long time ago. Digger John, and stayed that way. Digger John says, Tupelo, it's the home of Elvis. Tupolo, it's the home of Elvis. Dang youngins. Let's see. Sean Ryder says, I wish I could meet Vic, but the only con I can get to is PopCon, and that's one Monica is invited to. Frowny face. That's a shame. Infinity says, I guess you can't post links in Super Chats. I'll post it in the chat, and I'll send it to Twitter now. Thanks. I did post it in the chat when you sent this, and I also will retweet it on Twitter. Matthew Gervais says, the campaign is called Veltinus on Kickstarter. Awesome art style. An interesting story. Check it out. You all might like it. Thank you again, Nick. Of course, buddy. Of course. Venomine says, kind of unrelated, but on the FOW versus pool situation, if a game by the name of Subverse had existed on Steam since 2018, will this affect his credibility when he claims to be defending the right to the name Subverse? Possibly. Depends on how big the game is, I suppose. Let's see. Darian the Ghoul says, a few years ago, Kelowna started its own con, and Vic was the first guest at their first con. I think it would do SaiyaCon really well, or really good for their first time. I think so too. Mark C says, careful when the Windig name, like Beetlejuice, if you say his name 3 times, he appears asking you to eat a boot covered in fecal matter. Disgusting. DZV Titan says, I take it as it comes. Really, Nick? Really, buddy. Andrew Moore Snowboard says, thoughts on R. Kelly's illiteracy? I don't. I have less thoughts than he has literacy. Envious Gaming says, watch Steins Gate, amazing show, believable sci-fi. Snarkticon DM says, for God's sakes, it's pronounced Tupalo. Tupalo? Okay. Chris Gonzalez says, glad to see you're streaming tonight, driving up from Kansas from Texas in about 30 minutes. Listening to this will help make part of the 9-hour drive go by. Good luck, buddy. Zenai Ulanya says, try Coyote Ragtime show, similar to Cowboy Bebop. Moist John says, Nick, have you watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes? No. The characters in that put your whiskey consumption to shame. I'm sure they do. Sure they do. Lord of S'more says, hey, Rackets. Hey, Rackets. Can you shill my GoFundMe that's trying to raise money for an apartment before I end up homeless in 4 months? GoFundMe.com. Going to be homeless soon. I do have this, and I'm happy to post it in the chat. Again, if you feel inclined to look at this, go ahead. Posting it in the chat right now. You can check the GoFundMe there and see if you'd be willing to support that or not. That's up to y'all. TLJ Screwjob says, hey guys, so Nick, I was rewatching the Q stream a few days ago and was wondering if you could explain differences between involuntary homicide, manslaughter, and murder are. Are there degrees for the first two like murder and differences between degrees? It's state by state. It's state by state. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I probably need to devote a stream to it because I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. It's about looking at the different statutes and the case law around them. But, you know, involuntary homicide, manslaughter may be the same thing, just in different states. Like I said, not off the top of my head. I can't describe all of the differences. They're very state specific. Kildeo the horse says, who's stronger, Chun-Li's legs or Mars Girl's arms? Yoga Fire, I think. Viwi Samadare, a detective, says, I understand there's some cancer in IStandWithVic, but that some, not all, like Kick Vic level. Yeah, there's gonna be people with differing opinions on all of this stuff. So you're not gonna like all of them. That's okay. That umbrella guy says, hey there, you sexy chat, you. Hey, what's up, Tug? Joshua Maldonado says, nice stream, bro. Emosh, bro, keep up the good work, bro. It was good to hear your side of the story. Nova Zero says, oh wait, I read that one. Pro Hero All Might says, watch out for Florida Man while you're in Miami. I will. He'll be the guy coming out of the alligator's anus to attack me and steal my kids' cigarettes or whatever. Ovaltine Patrol says, Nick, in Miami area, check out Fuego Steakhouse. Speaking my language, buddy. I will look for it. Morty J says, with you gone for vacation, intern stream? No, my intern will not be on stream. Oh, that poor lady. Thank you, Gilgamesh, for donating. Waifu Sans Frontiers says, hey, Nick, I might have missed it, but have you weighed in on Muhammad Noor being convicted? Yeah, I had Q on. He was a Minnesota police officer who shot and killed an Australian woman while on duty. Had Q on the other day to talk about it. Also, the city of Minneapolis, the day after the verdict, settled with Justine Demond's family, awarding them $20 million. $20 million. Notable difference between the settlement that was received by Philando Castile's family of $3 million. Just a $17 million difference involved there. And there's some interesting questions about why that is. Some people will immediately assert that it's white privilege, that they wanted to settle because it was a white woman that got shot versus a black man. I think the idea of privilege may be involved with that, but I think it's more complicated than what's laid out there. And maybe I'll talk about it sometime soon when we get the final sentencing. His sentencing is not done yet, but I believe he has pled, and the plea agreement is substantial. Something like 10 years. I don't know. We'll have to see what the sentencing is. And yeah, I will probably cover it as... Wait, was it 10 years? It's got to be more than that. I don't know. I'll cover it when I find out. Asphyxiation says, thank you again, mate. Sorry if I overshared. Been one prolonged meltdown for months. You didn't overshare, man. You're good. You're good. Earjuice says, Jarbo the Hut live went well. How he makes the matte audio is 4D chess amazing. I bet it is. Shame stream dropped out. Thanks for the shout out. Earjuice live each week. So check out Earjuice, guys. There you go. Double A. Random question. What was your favorite 3 streams of all time that you've done? Oh man, I have no idea. I have no idea off the top of my head what my favorite 3 would be. I enjoy many of them in different ways, so I'll have to think about that one. I don't know. In Hot Fursuit says, Dear Law God, I heard you were talking about chimos earlier. They're registered sex offenders that still come to my cons. Do we just call the police on them and point them out? How do? Yeah. Yes. I don't know. Some conventions are not willing to remove registered sex offenders from them. I don't know. You got to talk to the convention staff. If it's your convention and you're in charge of that, I mean, you certainly have the right to uninvite people based on them being a danger to your other attendees. So that's up to you. You should probably talk to an attorney in your area specifically. If you need a reference, let me know. I can maybe help out. Dex Luther says, people say Anime News Network is immune because they are in Canada. Explain why and why/how this isn't true, please and thank you. Because they do business in the U.S. And if you're posting on Twitter, if you're posting on YouTube, if you're sharing those, if you're sharing on Twitter, that's a US-based company right there. If you're sharing on Twitter your articles, then you're definitely at risk. And also, you know, I think they're animenewsnetwork.com, which I think is a US registered domain despite them being in Canada. There's all sorts of ways. But really, it's about where the defamation occurs, where the damages from the defamation occurs. Anime News Network hurt Vic in the States. They could certainly be brought into court, in federal court in the United States, wherever they would have jurisdiction over them. So, you know, all sorts of ways. But no, they're certainly not immune because they're in Canada. Probably worst case for Anime News Network would be that they had the trial in Canada. That would be bad. That would be really bad for them. Keldeo the Horse says, shout out to Sean Ranklin. Double A says, also Cut Commander update. I believe we've got the letter drafted by Stephen Birch. I believe it's going to go out tomorrow. So I'm going to confirm that with him. As soon as the letter goes out to the Cut Commander people, then I will be, we'll talk about it on stream and I'll read you the letter. The draft of it's great. I think, and I fully support it. So I'll let you guys know what's going on with that. Takun 513 says, when are we getting another Warhammer stream? Loving the streams as always. I'm not sure yet. I'd love to do another one, but I gotta line up the guests. Blaine Cooper says, hey Nick, just tweeted you a reaction video. Check it out. Oh, excuse me. I will do that. I don't think I'm gonna do it on stream here. Kryed says, hey, I sent you a DM on Twitter, was asking about classes for private investigation, and then one that is a legal matter. I wanted to see if you had some advice on. I'll see if I can find it. Talbot Link says, YouTube has been hiding stream calls this week. They kind of been doing it off and on since I started. No one nowhere says two below. Now say it two below, Boomer. Wouldn't it be Tupelo? Tupelo? Tupelo. You want me to say Tupelo? It just seems wrong to me. What am I going to believe? People who live there? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Rick Nikita's intern says, quiet, play that Tupelo. Now change the B to P. Tupelo. QQ More Please says, please wiki behavioral sync on stream. Psych on rats. Oh, behavioral sync. Is this a Mouse Utopia? Yeah, this is the Mouse Utopia. Yeah, that thing was great. That was really interesting. I've read that before. Or I watched a video on it. So. All right, guys. All right. TupeloCon went great for Vic. If you want to support SaiyaCon UK bringing Vic out, please consider liking, retweeting, or whatever. You know, my tweet, sending them your own support. Just please be positive for them. I think it'd be great if they invited Vic. And if they can't invite Vic, you know, we don't need to give them any heat or anything like that. Just want to encourage them. Again, positive experiences. Vic is getting positive experiences at every convention he goes to. Tons of attendance, tons of interaction, positive experiences, positive for the conventions, positive with the community, positive for the fans. That's what the difference between us and them is. We are for the positivity. We are, I mean, many differences. We also weigh less and are a lot prettier, but for the positivity of the conventions, for the good interactions between Vic and the fans. That's what we're for. They're only against things. They're against Vic. They're against conventions. They're against the community. They're against fans. They're against everything that these conventions are about. They're against it. We're for it. let that be the distinction. And then, you know, Vic will be invited to more and more conventions as more and more go off without a hitch, as more and more bring the conventions and Vic and the fans enjoyment, money, and all that stuff. So, all right, guys. I think that's it. Oh, I'm supposed to play the song. Supposed to play the song. I've got a song. You guys know it. You guys know it. The song is starting. Song is starting. So, anyway, I have let you guys know about what's coming over the next week to 2 weeks. I'll also be mixing in streams with other pro Vic or Stand with Vic personas who have been covering this. Gonna have Cody from Anime Outsiders on. I hear he's got a lot to say. We're gonna have you know, hopefully I will be reaching out to Supergirl. The DJD show will be on. Other people who I'm probably not remembering right now. Senpai, for example. There's others. You're gonna get just a bunch of people in like 3- and 4-person groups. We'll have discussions about where things are. See if there's something I've missed. See, you know, what other people's takes are on the community. But that's where we're gonna be. All right, guys. I am going to go take a break for a little bit. Get something to eat, and then I will be probably streaming on Twitch. On Twitch, I'm not sure what I'm gonna play. My brain is telling me not to play Skyrim, but might play Skyrim. I've also been playing, you know, Inquisitor Martyr and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Bad Dragonite says, good stream. Sent you a DM on Twitter about Discord link. All right, buddy. I'll check it out. And Blaine20 says, follow Miss Meadow Kitty on Twitter. And Caden Culp, thanks for the donation. All right, guys. I'm wrapping this stream up. The outro will play through to the end. Hope you guys have a great night. And if you want to come join me on Twitch, I'll be on in 23 minutes at 2 o'clock a.m. my time for just relaxation. If you've got questions and stuff, feel free to come ask them there. Twitch streams are just relaxing for me, chilling with you guys. So come enjoy it if you want. If not, I know you got to work tomorrow. So do I. I just don't want to. All right. Catch you guys later. Peace. Peace.
So pour out a glass for the team, post on Twitter as we hear lawsplaining tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who's playing.